Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ray Fisher Stadium here at the Will Pond Baseball and Softball Complex for WCBN's broadcast of Michigan Baseball. Today we have the third game in a three-game series between the Michigan Wolverines and the visiting Penn State Nittany Lions. Michigan is going for the sweep, having won already on Friday and Saturday. I'm Austin Falco. Alongside me today, Austin Fisher, on just a beautiful day for baseball.
We're looking out over Ray Fisher Stadium here with the big house in the background. It's a beautiful day at 59 degrees. It's Heroes Day here at Ray Fisher Stadium, where we stand here to honor our police, fire, EMS, first responders, and military. We just sat through a beautiful national anthem, stood through a beautiful national anthem of Captain Garrett Bell of the University of Michigan Army ROTC. We're ready to play some ball.
All right, your starting lineup for Penn State today coming to the plate. Leading off is going to be center fielder Jordan Bowersox. Following him up in the two holes, third baseman Christian Helsel. Over at first base today, batting third is Willie Berger. The second baseman Conlon Hughes bats fourth. In the fifth spot, left fielder Nick Riato. In right field today, batting sixth is Braxton Giovanni. The catcher Ryan Sloniger bats seventh. The designated hitter today is Brett Davis in the eighth spot. And batting ninth, rounding out the order, the shortstop Logan Goodnight. They'll come to the plate to face Michigan left-hander Michael Hendrickson. Hendrickson on the year, a 3.25 ERA. He's 2-0 in 6 starts so far. In his 27 2/3 innings pitched so far, he has 24 strikeouts to 13 walks and is only allowing batters to hit .243 against him. It looks like Jordan Bowersox is strolling to the plate for the Nittany Lions, and we're going to have some baseball for you in just a couple seconds. Hendrickson winds up, and the first pitch of the game misses outside for ball one. The first pitch today right at 1 o'clock for those of you keeping track at home. Hendrickson working quickly. The second pitch misses behind Bowersox.
That was close to the outside. Almost beamed a batter early on today.
Yeah, almost hit that first bat of the game. Bowersox there. He's missed once away and once way in. So Hendrickson struggling to find his command here to the first batter of the game. That pitch is bounced towards shortstop. And it gets past Berdar over at short and into left field off a bad hop. That's going to put a runner on for Penn State here in the top of the first to begin the ball game. Berdar charging on the play. Did have that tough hop to make. We'll see how they scored. It looks like it's going to be scored as a hit for the leadoff hitter Bowersox. That'll bring up the third baseman Christian Helsel. Hendrickson from the stretch now. Fires. That one misses high for a ball. 1-0 the count on Christian Helsel. Right-handed batter, second right-handed batter of the game to start. As the second pitch is fouled off away to the right side and into the parking lot here at Ray Fisher Stadium. Count even now at 1-1. Helsel on the season batting .222. Couple of home runs to his name. As Hendrickson sets and delivers the 1-1 pitch that misses high for ball two. 2 balls, 1 strike. Runner on first here in the top of the first inning. Nobody out. Helsel working pretty quickly despite having to go to the stretch. That one misses inside for a ball. Ball gets away from the catcher Wentz, and he fires down to second as that throw gets past the shortstop Thomas, or the second baseman Thomas, and Bowersox is into second safely.
That almost could have been 2 bases.
Yeah, it was close. It bounced away from Thomas there. Berdar had to go over and scoop that one up to prevent Bowersox from taking yet another base. And we'll see how that one's scored. Most likely a pass ball there on Harrison Winston. And Penn State has a runner in scoring position now with nobody out. This 3-1 pitch is bounced towards the third baseman Lugbauer. He fields it in foul territory. So that'll go down as strike number 2. Full count now on Helsel. The leadoff hitter Jordan Bowersox over at second, yet to have an official score on that play. And here it is right here. It's labeled a wild pitch on Hendrickson. And the 3-2 pitch to Helsel is skied towards the right side. This one's hooking foul, and it's going to get out of play into the Penn State bullpen. Count remains 3-2. Helsel on the year batting .250 with runners in scoring position. Looking to cash in here to get Penn State on the board early here. Hendrickson comes set. And the pitch, swing, caught looking for strike number 3. A beautiful breaking ball there on 3-2 by Hendrickson. Fooled the batter Helsel, and he's walking back to the dugout with nothing to show for a nice lengthy at bat. Hendrickson definitely switched it up there, going with the breaking ball on the 3-2 count. Catching Helsel off balance. That'll bring up the first baseman, Willie Berger.
Berger's been batting a .289 through this year so far.
The first pitch to Berger is in there for a strike. Another breaking ball there from Hendrickson. The lefty getting crafty early on here. Yeah, Berger does have some power. He's hit 4 home runs, including a solo shot yesterday. Second pitch to the at-bat misses for a ball. It's even now at 1-1. Berger, big right-handed batter, steps in quickly. As Hendrickson comes set. Lefty fires, and that one is grounded up the middle for a base hit. Bauer Sox is around third. He's going to score. And just like that, Penn State up 1-0 here in the first on an RBI single by Willie Berger.
Wolverines haven't been having much luck up the center so far.
Yeah, so far, a couple balls hit up the middle, and also an errant throw up the middle. Penn State definitely looking to attack that middle infield so far. Definitely on these pitches from Hendrickson. And that is Penn State's first lead of the series in the third game. Of course, they went down 10-6 on Friday and 15-2 yesterday. Up 1-0 here. The first pitch to Conlon Hughes is in there for a strike. Willie Berger over at first base, not really a threat to steal, only 1 for 2 on stolen base attempts this season. The 0-1 pitch is bounced towards the third baseman, Lugbauer. He fires to second to Thomas for 1. The relay throw is not in time.
Too slow.
So the Wolverines do get the lead runner there, Berger out at second, but cannot turn it and get out of the inning here. 2 outs now here in the top of the first. Penn State leading 1-0. Your defensive alignment for the Wolverines so far today, it's Lewis, Slater, and Engelman from left to right in the outfield. Across the infield, Lugbauer's over at third, Berdar at short, Thomas at second, and Bivens over at first, as the first pitch to the left fielder, Nick Riato, is swung at and missed for a strike. Now, of course, Hendrickson on the mound, throwing to Harrison Wenson. Hendrickson comes set for the 0-1 pitch. That one's fouled back and over our heads here in the press box of Ray Fisher Stadium. That brings the count to 0-2.
Out of 82 at-bats this season, Riato's been averaging about a 145.
Definitely a rough start for the senior on the season, the senior left-handed hitter. Getting the call here against the lefty starter, Hendrickson. As Hendrickson throws over to first and Hughes dives back in safely. Riato does have 1 home run and 1 double to his name, so not a ton of extra base power displayed early on here. The 0-2 pitch from Hendrickson. That one misses high and away for ball 1. 1-2 the count now on the left fielder, Riato. So we see some stirring going on just over our left center field fence here over at Alumni Field. Softball team wrapping up a 3-game series against Northwestern. We also have that call for you on WCBN Sports. That's the main channel. They're also looking for a sweep, having thrown 6 straight shutouts over there. And Henderson comes set and fires. Swinging and a miss for strike 3. And Rialto goes down swinging, but not before Penn State tacks on a run on an RBI single by Willie Berger after a half inning here at Ray Fisher Stadium. It's Nittany Lions 1, Wolverines 0, coming to bat with a chance to even that up.
So far out of the first, we have some. The Wolverines have looked sloppy in some parts of the first, with Hughes back in the base that last time. That pick-off by,
Hendrickson.
Hendrickson, thank you very much. Hendrickson almost went wide, and that's after the runner picking off second went dropped.
Yeah, it was after the ball got past to K.O. Thomas on that attempt from Harrison Wenson to throw out the runner. For the Wolverines here, we'll get you that starting lineup. Leading off is the second baseman, K.O. Thomas. Batting in the 2-hole is the center fielder, Johnny Slater. Batting third, playing short, Michael Berdar. In that 4 spot is third baseman, Drew Lugbauer. Batting fifth, playing left field is Miles Lewis. In the 6th spot, playing first base is Jake Bivens. The designated hitter today is Nick Poirier. He bats 7th. Your right fielder is Jonathan Engelman in the 8-hole. And rounding out the lineup is the catcher, Harrison Wenson. They're going to face Penn State right-hander Eric Mock. Pretty nice start to the season so far. He has himself a 2.16 ERA. This will only be his 3rd start of the year. In 16 2/3 innings, he has struck out 18, only walked 7, and allowing batters to hit a minuscule 135 against him thus far. So after Hendrickson gave up a run in the top of the first, Eric Mock will look to keep the Wolverines down here in the first inning of this one. In Michigan, so far success in the first inning in this series. We saw in the first game, it was a K.O. Thomas basically manufacturing a run by himself on Friday. Wolverines tacked on 3 runs in the first yesterday. He'll stroll to the plate with a chance to start things off for the Wolverines here in the 3rd game of the series. First pitch from Mock misses low and gets past the catcher Sloniger back there for ball number 1. K.O. Thomas with a .333 average on the season with a .450 on base percentage. Extremely good at getting on base to lead off the game for the Wolverines. That second pitch of the at-bat misses inside. It's 2-0 now. Yeah, speaking of leading off an inning so far this season, which K.O. Thomas has done a fair amount. He's batting a .447 as the 2-0 pitch is in there for a strike. 2-1 now the count on Thomas. Thomas yesterday had a couple hits. 2-1 pitch, misses inside for ball 3.
That's 2 balls close to the inside. KO's going to have to step back in the box to avoid getting beamed.
Yeah, you mentioned that K.O. Thomas likes to stand really close to the plate there in that right-handed batter's box. He'll wait the 3-1 here. That pitch, Thomas thought it missed low for a second, but according to home plate umpire Michael Conlon, that one did get in there for a strike. The count is full now, 3-2. Payoff pitch from Mock is fouled straight back to the screen and will remain at 3-2. Nobody out here in the bottom of the first. Penn State's up 1-0 in the 3rd game of this 3-game series here in Ann Arbor. Thomas ready at the plate, Mock ready on the mound. He winds and fires another payoff pitch. That one clips Thomas on the elbow. Would have been ball 4 anyway, but he'll take the hit by pitch given he's got that elbow pad on there. And he's on base yet again to lead off the ball game for the Wolverines.
Good old KO standing up in that box. Boy's going to have to watch himself.
Yeah, luckily he does have that elbow pad on there, so not too bad. But it would have been a walk anyway, you're right. So could have moved his hands out of the way to save himself a little bit of pain. That'll bring up the center fielder, Johnny Slater.
Minus the great name of Johnny Slater. Slater's been going and batting at .286 through the year so far.
First pitch to Slater is in there for a strike. Oh and 1 now the count on Slater. With that .286 average, 1 home run on the year. Plenty of extra base power as he's also recorded 4 doubles and 4 triples on the year. Pick off the order, try to pick off Thomas, gets past the first baseman, and Thomas is going to scoot into second base. Runner in scoring position now for Michigan with nobody out.
Despite the throw going wide, that was kind of a smart decision on Mock's part.
Yeah, that one clipped Thomas's back there, so already being with the ball a couple times to start the game today. Rough start here at the bottom of the first.
Can't really blame
K.O. Thomas.
Can't really blame Eric Mock for being nervous on that one. So far through the year, K.O. Thomas has been 15 for 17 in stolen base attempts.
Yeah, we saw him basically manufacture a run on Friday just from stealing second and third in the first inning. Johnny Slater now a chance to drive home the first run of the game for the Wolverines. Stands in there with an 0-1 count. The pitch is low. Gets through the legs of the catcher Sloniger, but not far enough for Thomas to advance. Count is now 1-1. Johnny Slater, that left-handed bat in the 2 spot for the Wolverines. Facing the right-hander Mock. Mock comes set, and the pitch. This one's skied towards center field. Center fielder Bowersox moving back at the track. He's going to make the grab, but Thomas is going to scoot into third, tagging up on that one. And man, Slater just missed a home run out there all the way to left center.
Slater with 4 triples, 4 doubles, and home runs through the season. He has a lot of power, but that one just came up short. The outfielder.
That was Bowersox out there, just able to track that one down on the track. Looked like he was really backpedaling. Looked like he was going to run out of room there for a second. A great heads-up play by K.O. Thomas to tag up at second, take that extra base, and he's now standing at third for Michael Berdar. The right-hander takes the ball low in the dirt for ball 1. That was a check swing, but did not go around.
Penn State's doing everything they can to allow K.O. Thomas off the bases today, aren't they?
Yeah, they definitely are. Some sloppy fielding here from Penn State. Already saw a ball get past at first base. A couple balls get away from the catcher, Sloniger. As Thomas stands over there at third base. Berdar waits and fouls this one off to the right side. Not a play towards the parking lot there. Hopefully everybody's car is all right over there today.
Appears to be a fan hunting down through the parking lot for that ball. Probably avoiding his car.
Perhaps waiting for that softball game that's set to start over at 2 o'clock. We once again have that call for you on WCBN Sports. The 1-1 pitch to Berdar is inside for a ball. It's 2-1 now. The 2-1 pitch to Berdar is fouled off to the right side, and that's going to get into the Penn State bullpen there as most Penn State pitchers down there chasing after that one. Count is going to even up now at 2-2. So 2-2 count here. 1 out, bottom of the first. Penn State leading 1-0. The 2-2 pitch gets past the catcher Lugbauer, or rather past the catcher Loniger, and Thomas is going to come home to score on a wild pitch. So just like you mentioned, Penn State doing everything they can to allow K.O. Thomas to score.
K.O. Thomas basically just walked to the plate on that last sound.
So I'd imagine that will go down as a wild pitch, scooting through the legs of the catcher Sloniger. We'll see how they score that. We'll get that to you as soon as we get the official score. And it was indeed a wild pitch. So Michael Bernard now standing in there in a tie game, and nobody on here went out in the first as Mock steps off. He was going from the stretch, realizes he can go from the windup now with nobody on base. He will indeed go to the windup on this 3-2 pitch, as Bernard fouls that one off into the Penn State bullpen once again. Count remains 3-2.
Bernard's been fouling a ton of these off to the right so far. That's one in the parking lot, 2 into the bullpen.
Yeah, definitely trying to stay alive here, fouling off some tough pitches on the outside part of the plate here. He waits another 3-2 pitch, and that one bounces up the middle for a base hit. So that long at bat, Bernard staying alive, ends up paying off as he's on first base with a single here in the first.
That ball got on the bottom of his bat, came off pretty bouncy. It was hard to field for Penn State.
Yeah, you got this turf field here at Ray Fisher Stadium. Michigan definitely able to take advantage of that as it bounced over the mound and through the hole there up the middle. That'll bring up the third baseman, Drew Lugbauer. Lugbauer yesterday with a double and a home run drove in 4. Mock comes set to Lugbauer. And this one is down the right field line fair. That one's going to get all the way to the corner. Bernard around second, around third. He's going to come around to score as there was some trouble in the right field corner by Giovanni. And an RBI double here from Drew Lugbauer puts the Wolverines on top 2-1 here in the bottom of the first inning.
There was absolutely nothing Willie Berger could have done to stop that ball down at first. Came out like a jet.
Yeah, Lugbauer just absolutely crushed that one. It was on the ground, but hit it so hard down that first base line. A diving attempt by Berger over at first. Wasn't going to be able to get that one. And with the misplay by Giovanni in that right field corner, Bernard was able to score from first without a throw. Lugbauer did stop at second on the play. But nonetheless, another RBI for Drew Lugbauer as he has been fantastic in this series.
We cannot reiterate enough how fast that ground ball came off that bat. Lugbauer's been batting with 8 home runs for the season, the highest for the Wolverines. Man's got a lot of power off his bat.
But definitely one of the more powerful hitters in this Wolverine lineup. Another powerful hitter in the Wolverine lineup. That will bring up Miles Lewis here. With only one out in the first, Wolverines already pushed 2 across, have a third one on second base, ready to come in Drew Lugbauer. Lewis, the left-handed batter, steps in there against Mock after there was a mound visit there by Penn State. Lewis ready, and the pitch. This one misses outside for a ball. It's 1-0. The 1-0 pitch from Mock is fouled back just to our left, off the glass here in the booth to our left. Nobody in there to field that ball, but definitely a hard hit. Gonna have to stay aware today in our press box.
Window up here in the press box.
Oh, it's such a beautiful day though. Don't really want to do that. 1-1 now here, the count on Miles Lewis. Mock comes set on the mound, and the pitch. This one misses outside now. It's 2-1. So 2-1 the count now on Miles Lewis. 1 out here. Bottom of the first inning. Wolverines leading 2-1. Going for the sweep today of this 3-game series. So Lewis is there, ready. Mock sets. And the 2-1 pitch. This one is bounced towards the right side. It's going to get through into right field for a base hit. Lugbauer is going to come around third to score. Lewis on his way to second, and he is in there safely. So another run here for the Wolverines. I'd imagine that might go down as a double, actually, as the second baseman Hughes diving, trying to make that stop on the right side. Couldn't get there. Ticked off his glove and allowed Lewis hustling all the way to scoot into second, get himself into scoring position after driving in Lugbauer. That brings in another left-handed hitter here in Jake Bivens. Looking to cash in on another RBI opportunity for the Wolverines. Done it 2 batters in a row here in the first and lead 3-1. Bivens watches the first pitch from Mock. That's a strike. Still no official score on that one. I'd imagine it'd go down as a double. Could possibly go down as an error or something on Hughes. I don't see how they would give that to him. We'll see how generous the official score is feeling today. As Bivens awaits the pitch. Runner goes from second. Lugbauer, or not rather Lugbauer, Miles Lewis able to swipe third on the play as the throw from the catcher Sloninger was high and offline.
As we've reiterated before, the Wolverines are really exploiting Penn State's sloppy fielding. That throw out from Logan, oh no,
from Sloninger there. Yeah, that throw from Sloninger was definitely high and wide at third base. If it was on line, he might have had a shot, but Miles Lewis did get a great jump out there at second, and now a runner on third here for Bivens, who fouls one off to the right side. That pitch that Miles Lewis stole on was a strike, so the count is 0-2 and remains 0-2 after that foul ball by Bivens. Bivens stands in there, holds that bat in front of him as Mock comes set. The pitch, that one hits Bivens, and he'll take his base. Second hit batsman of the inning. And runners now on first and third for the Wolverines. And it looks like we're going to get an early pitching change here, as head coach Rob Cooper for Penn State is out to the mound for his second visit of the inning. And the Wolverines have already chased starter Eric Mock from the game. We'll get that pitch and change who's coming in for you in just a second. But here in the bottom of the first, Wolverines scoring 3 runs for the second day in a row. Lead 3-1 here with only 1 out. Looks like it might be right-handed senior Dakota Forsythe coming in for Penn State. And that is indeed who it is. So Dakota Forsythe relieving Eric Mock here. The first batter he's going to face is the designated hitter Nick Poirier.
Out of 11 appearances through the year, Dakota Forsythe's got an ERA of 5.06 with 3 wins on the record.
And it looked like his first warm-up pitch was a little wild there. So you get some oohs and ahs from the crowd. Yeah, you mentioned Dakota Forsythe on the year with that 5.06 ERA. Penn State, not the greatest as a staff. As a staff, their ERA is 5.61, and giving up 25 runs in the first 2 games of the series definitely has not helped that number. Forsythe, although on the season in 21 and 1/3 innings, struck out 22, walked 13, allowing batters to hit 247 against him. As we have a nice video board tribute here on Heroes Day, like you mentioned earlier.
It's always a beautiful view out here at Ray Fisher Stadium. Able to watch a softball game across the way.
Yeah, we can see that softball games. We see them warming up, getting ready to go there. They'll get underway in just about a half hour in their 3rd game of their series. We also have a nice view here of the big house just over the right field wall. Chrysler Center just over the center field wall. And, well, not as evident from our spot, you can see Yosh Ice Arena off behind us to our left. And just a beautiful day to take in the scenery here at Ray Fisher Stadium, as the crowd seems to agree. We've got a healthy crowd here today. It'll be Nick Poirier stepping in to face the reliever Forsythe. And he lines the first pitch he sees up the middle for a base hit. That's going to bring in another run here for the Wolverines. They now lead 4-1 in the bottom of the first inning. Nick Poirier wasting no time. The very first pitch he sees from Forsythe shoots it back up the middle. Forsythe stuck out his glove, but really had no shot at snagging that one. Poirier just ripped that one into center. So after scoring 1 in the bottom of the first on Friday, 3 in the bottom of the first yesterday, the Wolverines have scored 4 in the bottom of the first today and lead 4-1. That'll bring up Jonathan Engelman now. Engelman, the sophomore right fielder, hitting .288 on the season. 15 RBIs, and he's got another shot with Bivens out there at second base. As that one is shot through the right side for another base hit. Bivens is going to come around third. He's going to try to score. The throw from the right fielder, Giovanni, is cut off, and now it's 5 runs here at the bottom of the first for the Wolverines. They lead 5-1.
That cutoff throw wasn't even close. The Wolverines are making easy work of Penn State today.
Yeah, Wolverines definitely taking advantage of that Penn State pitching staff as they've done all weekend long, just shooting base hits all around the field here. They're not really doing it so much with power, just finding holes, some through the right side, some up the middle. Just all locked in right now, and Harrison Wenson gonna look to keep the train going here. As he'll step in. So far, just 2 pitches thrown for Forsythe and 2 base hits given up. Wenson awaits the throw. Forsythe's going to turn back towards second, try to chase Poirier back. Poirier on the season 5 for 6 in stolen base attempts. We've already seen one Wolverine runner swipe third. That was Miles Lewis. So Wenson awaits the first pitch. That one's in there for a strike. And an off-speed pitch there, not giving Wenson a first pitch fastball to tee off of, because Wenson does have some power in his bat.
Wenson with 5 home runs on the year, and it's the final batter in the lineup for the Wolverines.
And he's swing and miss with that big swing. Bring the count to 0-2. Wenson, a little strikeout prone on the season. Already struck out 39 times on the year. Leads the team. He does have 21 RBIs, though, as a runner in scoring position with Poirier at second. Engelman also over there at first. He watches a breaking ball that just misses low for a ball. 1-2 now, the count on Wenson. Should Wenson avoid the double play ball here, we'll get back to the top of the order with Akeo Thomas ready for his second at-bat of the inning, waiting in that on-deck circle. Only 1 out here in the bottom of the first. Wolverines already up 5-1. The 1-2 pitch to Wenson. This breaking ball looked at again by Wenson. That one misses low. Count even now at 2-2. Wenson, that big right-handed batter, stands in there. Right arm fully covered with the sleeve and the batting glove. Left arm only the batting glove. Is a pick-off throw from Forsythe to second. Is not in time. Poirier dives back in safely. Two and two the count now. 2-2 the count still on Wenson. Forsythe looking for that put-away pitch here. He comes set, waits for a second, and fires as Wenson fouls that one straight back to the screen to stay alive. Count remains 2-2. Harrison Wenson standing there. We mentioned his right arm completely covered. He's going with the white arm sleeve, white batting gloves today to complement those white pants with a, looks like a blue and maize stripe on the side. Blue jerseys for the Wolverines today with the Michigan logo, or Michigan sprawled out across the chest as Wenson looks at strike 3. Wenson not agreeing with the call there by home plate umpire Michael Conlon as he walks back to the dugout, has a couple words for him. But regardless of what Wenson thinks, there are now 2 outs in the inning. And Akeo Thomas stepping to the plate.
And with that, that's Wenson's 40th strikeout on the year already early in the season.
40th strikeout on the year, and The first strikeout of the day for Penn State here in the first inning, recorded by reliever Logan Forsythe. As he'll try to pick off Poirier again over there at second. Not in time.
And with this at only 2 outs, the Wolverines have gone through the full lineup with already 30 minutes in the game, straight to the first.
Yeah, a long first inning here so far. Already a half hour in with 6 runs on the board, 5 in favor of the Wolverines. First pitch to Thomas, misses low and away for a ball.
We're looking forward to a high-scoring game.
That's what it appears to be. Wolverines definitely capable of putting up some crooked numbers. The offense just really on a tear since coming back to Ray Fisher Stadium and beginning Big Ten play. As Thomas awaits the 1-0 pitch, he's going to look at a strike. Evens count up at 1-1. As we mentioned, that long first inning so far. Long bottom of the first inning. You've already seen 1 pitching change as Michigan is scratched across 5 and lead 5-1. There's the 1-1 pitch from Forsythe to Thomas. Misses high for a ball, 2-1. K.O. Thomas already hit by a pitch today in this first inning. Came around to score on a wild pitch from the starting pitcher, Eric Mock. The 2-1 pitch to him is bounced towards third base. The third baseman, Helsel, is there. He's going to field it and step on third to finally end the inning for Penn State. But Michigan answers the 1 on the top of the first from Penn State with a 5 spot in the bottom half of the first. And just like that, starting pitcher Michael Hendrickson is working with a comfortable lead here. After 1, it's Michigan 5, Penn State 1.
That was a long first inning, a little long as I've sat through in a long time. But with that, out of 5 hits, the Wolverines have put up 5 runs, and we are up on Penn State 5-1.
So for Penn State in the second inning, trying to find an answer to that 5 spot by the Wolverines, it'll be the right fielder Braxton Giovanni, catcher Ryan Sloniger, and the designated hitter Brett Davis coming to the plate to lead off against left-hander Michael Hendrickson. Hendrickson did give up a run in that first inning on a couple hits. Also struck out 2 batters, including the last batter of the inning, Nick Riato.
Michael Hendrickson is a hometown boy from Saline, Michigan, right down the street. Hendrickson went to Saline High School. We're a rival of good old Ann Arbor Pioneer right across the street from the Big House, aren't they?
I think they are, if I recall correctly. I'm not too well versed here on the local high school rivalries, but definitely a lot of local support here for Michael Hendrickson. You can hear whenever he's able to strike out a batter, all the Wolverines fans, of course, in support, but especially so for a local kid, as the first pitch to Braxton Giovanni is looked at for a strike. Giovanni, a right-handed hitter, batting .268 on the season, just a freshman, as he bounces that one up the middle for a base hit. And for the second inning in a row, Penn State has the leadoff hitter on here on a leadoff single. That'll boost up that aforementioned .268 batting average for Giovanni there, and bring up the catcher Ryan Sloniger. Sloniger, a sophomore. A lot of underclassmen on this Penn State roster as he squares around a bunt, and this one bounces back behind the plate foul. 0-1 the count on Sloniger. Only 2 seniors in the starting lineup for Penn State. We only saw 3 the past couple days. Really do not have a whole lot of experience on the team, but a lot of young talent. Will look for them over the next couple of years to really develop and come into their own, perhaps making some noise in the Big Ten. Hendrickson comes set for the 0-1 pitch. He grounds that one to second. Thomas scoops, throws over to second for 1. The relay throw is in time. Double play.
Easy 1-2 for the Wolverines.
Nice 4-6-3 double play there. Thomas to Berdar to Bivens over at first, and just like that, 2 outs here in the top of the second. Nobody on for the designated hitter, Brett Davis. right-handed hitting Davis steps in and swings and grounds from to third. This will be Lugbauer to make the play. He throws over to first. Vivens with the stretch over there, records the out, and just like that, out of the inning on a mere 5 pitches from Hendrickson there. And after 1.5, Michigan maintains that 5-1 lead.
Fire Department, EMS Service, and all first responders, please rise and be recognized.
Here at Ray Fisher, they're currently doing some ceremonies for all of our first responders. Once again, we thank everyone for coming out today on Heroes Day at Ray Fisher Stadium.
Yeah, it is a great day for us in baseball. A great round of applause there. Great round of applause for our first responders. They're all standing up here, being recognized in the crowd. A pretty full crowd, I'd have to say. For an early April game, it's beautiful weather. I'd say we're probably sitting around 50 to maybe 55% capacity, maybe, based on our view in the press box here, especially the general admission seats. General admission seats definitely more full than the assigned seating is. I'd probably estimate maybe 60, 70% full in the general admission, a little less so. People wanting to soak up the sun here and sit in the sun rather than sit under the overhang here at Ray Fisher Stadium. And for the Wolverines here in the second, it will be Forsythe on the mound for Penn State. Wolverines will send up Johnny Slater, Michael Berdar, and Drew Lugbauer for their second hacks of the game. Their first looks at Forsythe on the day. Slater back in the first with that long fly ball to left center. Just tracked down by the center fielder Bauer Sox. That ended up advancing a K.O. Thomas to third. As the first pitch to Slater here bounces in for a strike, or for a ball. Count 1-0 now on Slater's. You can perhaps faintly hear the alumni band over at Alumni Field. As a 1-0 pitch to Slater misses low for a ball, 2-0. Our alumni band coming out to support that the softball team against they play Northwestern. We can see the softball team in their yellow unis today as Slater drives another one towards left center field. This one's not going to go as far as Bauer Sox ranges under it and makes the grab for out number 1. 2 flyouts today for Johnny Slater. That will bring up the shortstop, Michael Berdar, senior, with that first inning single that he had, batting .336 now on the year. And scored his 23rd run back last inning there. He stands in for his first at bat against Forsythe. And he'll watch one inside for a ball, 1-0. I mentioned the Wolverine baseball team in their blues. We can see the Wolverine softball team in their yellows. Penn State today in their road grays. Gray tops, gray trousers. Got a blue hat. Lettering of Penn State across the front and the numbers just below that. A very sharp look for both teams today. As that second pitch was fouled off from Bernard. This third pitch is grounded towards short. Goodnight's over there and makes the play and fires to first for out number 2. 2 quick outs here in the top of the bottom half of the second here for Forsythe. So as you mentioned, back in the first, Penn State having some trouble with the Wolverine lineup, but not the case here so far in the second. That'll bring up the third baseman, Drew Lugbauer. Lugbauer doubled back in that first inning. As he watches this one for a ball. The second pitch to Lugbauer is low for a ball, 2-0. 2-0 count on Lugbauer. 2 outs here in the second, nobody on. He'll watch that 2-0 pitch buzz in there for a strike, 2-1. Forsythe, a very quick worker out there on the mound. Knows exactly what he wants to do, toes that rubber, gets a sign from the catcher and fires away here. It's a 2-1 pitch, misses high and away, ball 3. 3-1 the count now on Lugbauer. Looking to do some more damage after 4 RBIs yesterday, an RBI double today. Is that one is in there for a strike on the outside corner as Lugbauer seems to disagree with that call. And Lugbauer watches ball 4, so perhaps trying to stay away from Lugbauer's power after 2 home runs yesterday and a double. Another double so far today, 5 RBIs the last 2 days. He'll stand on first now for Miles Lewis. Lewis back in that first inning also did get credit for a double and an RBI on the ball. He bounced through the right side. Lewis stands in there ready, left-hander. Watches strike 1 on the outside corner, so Dakota Forsythe definitely getting the benefit of the doubt on that outside corner from home plate umpire Michael Conlon so far. The 0-1 pitch to Lewis, just off that outside corner for ball 1. So Forsythe been getting those calls on the outside corner, looking to stay there, and just misses with that one. 1-1 the count now on Miles Lewis. So this pitch is lined up right to the shortstop, Goodnight, who is shaded over towards the middle of the field. And that's going to end the inning here.
Good night,
so nothing.
Wolverines.
Good night, Wolverines here at the bottom of the second inning. So the Wolverines do get a base runner on with a 2-out walk, but don't score. So after a very eventful first inning, a very quiet second inning for both teams as the score remains 5-1 after 2.
That second inning was barely 8 minutes after the 35-minute first inning.
Austin Fisher here with your official timekeeping stats.
I think all of our listeners need to know the times of all that's going forward.
Be assured, Austin Fisher on it here for you. You have all that information, so you can be keeping score at home. Add an extra dimension to your scoreboard or to your scorecard here today. Keep track of the time of the innings in addition to the time of the game. See how well Austin can add it up here and give you accurate numbers here. See if the final total comes to the same as the total of all the innings. Here in the third inning to face left-hander Michael Hendrickson still on the mound for the Wolverines. It's going to be Logan Goodnight, who finished off that bottom of the second with the catching that line drive. Then they'll go back to the top of the order with Bauer, Sox, and Helsel. As the Wolverines dugout does their normal between innings routine and runs out down the left field line. Now filing back into the dugout as Goodnight, the right-handed batter, steps up to the plate to face Hendrickson. First pitch to him, he squares around but pulls back on the breaking ball to take strike 1. Goodnight on the season, a 125 batting average and just about 40 at-bats. So not the best start of the season for him as he swings and misses at strike 2.
In 3 innings is the first time we've seen the full of Penn State's lineup with Goodnight rounding it out.
Yeah, Wolverines batted around in the first inning. Penn State reaching the bottom of the lineup here to start the third. Henderson winds and fires the 0-2 pitch, bounces in there for a ball, 1-2, and a nice block there by the catcher Wenson. Didn't really matter at the end of it because of that. There's nobody on base to lead off hitter of the inning, but regardless, good to see Harrison Wenson on top of things back behind the plate. As a 1-2 pitch bounces in there for ball 2, another block by Wenson.
2-2.
Count even up at 2-2 now. Goodnight on the season, 21 strikeouts to just 3 walks. As the 2-2 pitch is on the inside corner for strike 3. Called strike 3 on Logan Goodnight, and there is 1 out here now in the top of the third inning. So just as Forsythe getting the benefit of the doubt on that same corner in the bottom half of the second, it looks like Hendrickson making an effort to go back to that same corner and got a call here in the top of the third. As Lions. The leadoff hitter Bowersock steps in and drives one way deep and way foul. That one would have been out of here without a doubt had he been able to straighten that out. Bowersock, of course, had that big home run back on Friday that ended up getting the Penn State within striking distance before Wolverines pulled away, and he'll take another big hack here and go down 0-2 in the count. So really got into one, but nothing to show for it as he's down 0-2 here against Hendrickson. The 0-2 from Hendrickson, swung at and missed on a ball in the dirt. Winston fields it, fires down to first to Bivens to record the out, and 2 strikeouts now in the inning for Hendrickson, bringing up the third baseman Christian Helsel. A really nice pick there by Winston behind the plate as he backhanded that ball, bounced way in front of the plate. Not sure what Bowersock was swinging at there. As Helsel lines this one towards the right center field gap, but the right fielder Engelman is over to make the grab. And another quick 1-2-3 inning here for the Wolverines. Michael Hendrickson looks to be dialed in.
Wolverines are making quick work of Penn State out here in the third.
Giving that offense another chance to push across some runs after 2.5. Michigan up 5-1 on the Penn State Nittany Lions. That Wolverines lineup always potent, as with those 5 runs in the first, they have scored 30 runs so far in this 3-game series against Penn State. Really just on fire right now, including the 30 runs in this series. Also scored 13 in a win against Central Michigan and 12 in a win against Toledo earlier on this week. So for those of you doing the math, that is now 55 runs in less than a week for the Wolverines. Offense definitely clicking when you're getting starting pitching like we're seeing out of Michael Hendrickson today, looking dialed in here over the last couple innings. It's going to be a tough team to beat, and explains why the Wolverines are ranked number 22 in the country this year. Just a really nice year so far for Michigan.
Leading off the bottom of the 3rd inning for Michigan, first baseman number 18.
It'll be Jake Bivens leading off the top of the 3rd here for Michigan. He was hit by a pitch last time at bat. Came around to score a run. Boosted his on-base percentage up to .431 on the season. He steps in there from the left-handed side to face Forsythe as that one misses low and in for a ball. Bivens was the last hitter faced by Eric Mock, so the last hitter to not see Forsythe yet today. As he swings and misses a big hack there on 1-0. Counts even now 1-1. Bivens steps up there, and Forsythe working quickly, winds and fires. That one misses low for ball 2, 2-1. Clouds have come over a little bit here over Ray Fisher Stadium, but still a very nice day temperature-wise as that pitch is lined towards the middle on a hop. The second baseman Hughes makes the play, fires to first in time. Just got him over at first base. Bivens called himself safe, but first base umpire Rick Allen was right on that call, and it was indeed the first out of the inning on a ground out by Jake Bivens. That'll bring up designated hitter Nick Poirier. Poirier with an RBI single back in the first pitcher to see Forsythe for a second time, as he bounces this one through the hole on the right side for a single. So once again, wasting no time by Poirier. He's seen 2 pitches from Forsythe and has himself 2 singles on the day, one up the middle, one through the right side. He'll be on first base now as Jonathan Engelman steps to the plate. Engelman, the right fielder, ended last inning with that fly out. He also only saw 1 pitch from Forsythe, laced an RBI single himself back in the first. We'll see if he's a little more patient than Poirier here with his second look at the right-handed pitcher as Forsythe fires over to first base and Poirier dives back in safely. Engelman adjusts his helmet, looks at that bat for a second, and steps in there. Forsythe comes set, and the pitch. That one misses inside for a ball, ball one. So 1-0 the count on Jonathan Engelman. One out here, bottom of the third. Runner on first for Michigan as they lead 5-1 over Penn State. Engelman steps in there again, awaiting the 1-0 pitch. And here it comes. That one catches the inside corner for a strike, 1-1.
Engelman's 1 for 1 for the day with the first single back in the first.
Engelman moving out of the way of that pitch, thinking it was a little inside, but it did look like it caught the corner from our vantage point up here in the press box. The 1-1 pitch is off-speed pitch that misses high, I guess, 2-1. Pitch looked pretty good from up here, but you can definitely see how the home plate umpire Michael Conlon would have called it a ball. Is that breaking ball at the top of the strike zone, not called very often. The 2-1 pitch from Forsythe to Engelman is roped back up the middle. Diving attempt by the second baseman Hughes. He's not going to get it as that one's through for another base hit. Engelman answers Poirier and is also 2 for 2 on the day. 2 runners on for the Wolverines in the bottom of the third. That'll bring up catcher Harrison Wenson. Wenson back in the first inning, went down looking on a questionable call. Comes up to the plate here and looks like he might have a word or two for the home plate umpire Michael Conlon.
Wenson walking up to Biggie Smalls, never a bad choice.
The Wolverines finally getting a chance to use those walk-up songs. They've been back here at Ray Fisher Stadium the last couple of weekends, or rather 2 of the last 3 weekends. Wenson stands in there and a pickoff throw to second. Poirier dives back in safely. Forsythe very aware of Poirier out on the base paths.
Poirier's been 5 for 6 in stolen base attempts this year so far. Bit of a threat out there, but nothing as a K.O. Thomas is.
Definitely not, as we have those stolen base threats in the lineup in a K.O. Thomas and Jake Bivens with 15 and 14 stolen base on the year respectively. And that pitch gets away from the catcher. Sloniger was inside to Wenson, and both runners move up, so Poirier doesn't have to steal a base to move out to third on that one, as he's going to scoot over there on what looks to be a passed ball on the catcher Sloniger.
And with that, Poirier is on third and Engelman on second. 2 runners in scoring position.
It looks like that actually goes down as a wild pitch. The official scorer not too kind here today to the pitcher Forsythe. So Wenson now in there with a 1-0 count and a couple runners in scoring position here. Wenson steps in, leans back a little bit, and waves that bat over the plate, almost daring Forsythe to come in there with something he can hammer. This 1-0 pitch is hit high in the air towards right field, hooking towards the line. The right fielder Giovannoni's over. He makes a running grab towards the line, but Poirier is going to tag up at third, come home to score. Engelman moves over to third, and a sacrifice fly for Harrison Wenson makes the score a 6-1 in favor of Michigan.
Giovanni really hustled out to the right field line there to get that ball.
Giovannoni with a very nice running grab there towards the line. Had he not gotten there, that definitely would have gotten into the corner for at least a double, if not more. So nice job by him. He was shaded over a little bit towards left field with the power of Wenson. And sprinted over to make the catch just in time. It was a sacrifice fly and an RBI, though, for Wenson as K.O. Thomas steps in and lines one towards right field as Giovannoni's going to get a workout over there. He's going to camp under it, make the grab, and end the inning, but not before the Wolverines can scratch across one more run to extend their lead to 6-1 after 3.
And folks, that's the end of the third.
Yeah, it is the end of the third inning, yes. Austin Fisher on his first broadcast for today, so we'll cut him some slack on it today.
With the nice one single listener, me, myself, and I. But anyway.
We also are broadcasting on the MGO Blue video feed, so thanks to all you listening. If you like our work so far today or like any of the work we've produced so far this weekend, you can check us out at WCBNsports.org. Plenty of broadcasts of Michigan baseball, Michigan softball this season, as well as all Michigan sports. And on WCBN.org, you can find some great blogs put up by all of our contributors. I imagine as we get into baseball season and softball season, we'll get some of those posts up there. We also have a softball podcast, actually, east of the Rockies. If you are so inclined to check that out, you can check that out on iTunes and Spotify, along with several other podcasts. The famous Dak and Dunk Show, produced by WCBN Sports' Leo Blavin, reached number 3 on the iTunes charts actually when it came out, so definitely a fun listen there if you want to check something out on the website. And we're going to start at the top of the 4th here with Penn State first baseman Willie Berger striding up to the plate for his second look at Michael Hendrickson. Hendrickson cruising along the last couple innings, gave up a hit. It was erased on double play, and then the last inning, 1-2-3 inning with a couple of strikeouts in there. Only there's a 5-pitch second and a 9-pitch third, as the first pitch from Berger to Berger is tapped foul to the left side for a strike. So 0-1 pitch from Hendrickson to Berger. He swung at and missed by Berger. A low pitch, low and inside pitch there. Berger with a big hack. Put himself off balance there and finds himself down in the count 0-2. Henderson winds and fires. That one misses low and away, ball 1. Perhaps trying to get Berger to chase there, down in the count 0-2. Berger back in that first inning, had an RBI single. The only RBI on the day for Penn State. As Berger watches this one, it's going to be a ball, according to home plate umpire Michael Conlon, but definitely held for an extra beat there by Harrison Wentz behind the plate. Drew the ire of a couple fans here. Count evened up at 2-2 now. That one is bounced towards short. Third baseman Lugbauer cuts it off and makes the throw over to third for the out. Or makes the throw over to first, rather, for the out. 1 out here in the top of the 4th. As Henderson just continues to cruise along here ever since that bit of a rough first inning. Giving up a couple hits. He has really locked in. Only 1 hit in 2 1/3 since then, and that hit was erased on a double play, as mentioned. The first pitch here to Conlon Hughes, squares around a bunt and pulls back. That's a ball. So you can hear people yelling from the Michigan dugout, perhaps a couple people in the stands yelling bunt. As Helsel squared around there. Second pitch to Helsel misses for a ball. And Helsel on the year, or rather, it's Conlon Hughes. I said Helsel there. Conlon Hughes on the season. 6 for 10 in stolen base, so a bit of a speed threat should he square around a bunt. As he watches another pitch high for ball 3. And Henderson behind in the count here, 3-0. So 3-0 pitch misses inside now, and a 4-pitch walk to Conlon Hughes puts a runner on first with 1 out here in the 4th for Penn State. That'll bring up the left fielder, Nick Riato. Riato, the left-handed batter, struck out in his first at-bat against Hendrickson back in the first on just 4 pitches. Henderson comes set, and the pitch misses inside. So that is now 5 straight balls from Hendrickson. And Wenson is going to stroll out to the mound to talk it over. Just those two on the mound, Wenson and Hendrickson, talking it over as we get a little band action over the PA system here at Ray Fisher Stadium. Unfortunately, don't have the luxury of that alumni band they have over at Alumni Field today. We can still get some tunes from them nonetheless when they decide to play, as that game looks like it's about to get underway. Nick Riato steps in there, awaits the 1-0 pitch from Hendrickson. That one misses high and in for a ball. 2-0 now, and 6 straight balls. Hendrickson losing his location a little bit after cruising along for a couple innings. A 2-0 pitch in there for a strike. That gets a little bit of a cheer from the crowd. Riado after that strikeout today is down to 143 batting average on the year as he swings and misses at that one for strike 2. And Henderson, nice job recovering in the count here to even it back up at 2-2. Riado in danger of his second strikeout of the day. Stands in there, waves that bat over his left shoulder. And pops this breaking ball up to the left side. Berdar calls off Lugbauer as he ranges underneath it and makes the grab for out number 2. That brings up the right-handed hitter Braxton Giovanni. He'll try to cash in on that one-out walk issued by Hendrickson to Hughes. Hughes still standing over there on first base. First pitch from Hendrickson, swung at and missed by Giovanni for a strike. Giovanni singled back in the second inning to lead off and was retired on the double play ball. Batting average up to 277 now on the year. The 0-1 pitch from Hendrickson is in there for a strike on the upper part of the strike zone there. And just like that, after struggling to find the zone, Henderson up in the count here after throwing 5 straight strikes. He's up 0-2 now on Giovanni. And the 0-2 pitch misses low and away for ball 1. A nice stop there by Wenson. 1-2 now the count on the Penn State right fielder. As Hendrickson comes set, lefty fires, a breaking ball, misses high for ball 2. As Hendrickson started to stroll off the mound there almost as soon as he released the pitch. He knew he had Giovanni fooled and did not get the call from home plate Michael Conlon. I had to agree with Conlon on that one as he goes to another breaking ball and gets a swing and a miss out of Giovanni for strike 3. That ends the inning, so Penn State gets a runner on with a walk, but nothing to show for it again here in the top of the 4th after 3.5. Michigan's lead remains 6-1.
And with that, we have due up for Michigan. First batting, Johnny Slater, then Eric Berdar, Michael Berdar, my mistake, and Drew Lugbauer.
The 2, 3, 4 hitters for the Wolverines today. Coming to the plate, so if Michigan wants to tack on some insurance runs, this would be a good inning to do so. And given the way the offense has been over this past week, now up to 56 runs on the week. Just a ridiculously high amount. Even if it was a Major League Baseball team playing 6 games in a week, I would 100% take 55 runs in a week. Michigan able to do that here in their 5th game of the week.
And with that mention of Major League Baseball, a reminder tonight, it's opening day for all you Cubs fans, Yankees fans, Giants, Arizona, Tampa Bay, and Cardinals.
And we got 6 games in Major League Baseball action today. And if you want a scoreboard update, it looks like the Rays are leading the Yankees 5-2 already in the first game of the Major League Baseball season. Only in the 2nd inning there. And for more of a local flavor, we have the Detroit Tigers opening up tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And they open up at Guaranteed Rate Field in Chicago against the White Sox. And it looks like Johnny Slater strutting to the plate for his second look at Dakota Forsythe. So far, Slater flew out twice to the center fielder in the left center field gap. One all the way to the warning track as he watches the first pitch for a strike. 0-1 the count now on the left-handed hitting Johnny Slater with this 0 for 2 days. Average dipped down a bit to 280, but still very good as he watches the 0-1 pitch miss outside for a ball, 1-1. Johnny Slater leading off an inning so far this year, up at to 364 as he scoots that one through the right side for a base hit as that batting average will go up a little bit. And he's on base to lead off the inning for the Wolverines here in the 4th.
Penn State's infield has been doing a lot of diving grabs today. Not much success.
A lot of hard hit balls to the Wolverines. Just really no chance for these infielders. We've seen Helsel, Goodnight, Hughes, and Berger across the infield there. Just diving left and right. Able to get a glove on it every once in a while, but really these balls just scalded by the Wolverine hitters. Not much they can do out there as Michael Bernard steps up to the plate having a single recorded already on the day. First pitch to him bounces in there. Slater's going to take off from first as the catcher Sloniger bobbled the ball, and he's going to get into second safely. So 1-0 the count now on Bernard and a chance to drive in another run. Out there on second base, he's got 21 RBIs on the season. You can bet he's looking to record his second hit of the day and drive in number 22. We'll see how they score that one. Slater might get credit for a stolen base. He took off as soon as the ball hit the dirt, really. Michael Bernard, the right-handed hitter, hitting shortstop. Very low stance there, crouches down. And watches this pitch in there, or watches this pitch outside, rather, for ball 2, 2-0.
And once again, that's recorded as a wild pitch. Not much generosity out here today.
Yeah, another wild pitch there. On the day, like you said, the official score not too generous to the pitchers today. As Bernard bounces that one foul to the left side. Lands roughly around that Michigan M near the Michigan dugout there. It's embroidered on this turf here at Ray Fisher Stadium. Of course, here at Ray Fisher Stadium, an all turf field aside from the mound, given the weather situation up here in Michigan as opposed to the southern states where they can play on their grass and dirt all year long. 2-1 pitch to Bernard misses for ball 3. 3-1 the count on Bernard here with a chance to do some damage. Bernard upright to start. And as soon as Forsythe comes set, Bernard does crouch down into that low stance, slightly open stance with his left toe touching the ground as that one misses high and in on Bernard. He's going to take his base, ball 4. Runners on first and second with nobody out in the inning for the Wolverines. Bringing up the red-hot Drew Lugbauer.
Bernard to dance away from the plate to avoid getting hit by that one.
Yeah, Bernard, very careful. We've already seen K.O. Thomas get hit with the pitch. Jake Bivens also got clipped, and K.O. Thomas hit with a pickoff throw. So not quite as cold as we've seen so far this season. So it doesn't quite sting as much, but probably stings nonetheless as we're going to get a mound visit here. Perhaps by the pitching coach, Brian Anderson. The entire infield, along with the catcher Schloniger, out to the mound, huddling around Forsythe, as there is double barrel action down there in the Penn State bullpen. A couple right-handers up. That would be if one of them were to come in, it'd be the third Penn State pitcher already in only the 4th inning. Michigan cruising along with their starter, Michael Hendrickson. Have not had any movement in their bullpen yet today. As Michael Conlon, the home plate umpire, strides out to the mound and breaks up the meeting. Wolverine batters will resume their places on the bases after coming near the dugout to discuss what they want to do here. Out at second base, Johnny Slater, a perfect 7 for 7 on stolen bases this season. So possibly a threat to take third. I'm sure Forsythe will be keeping an eye on him as he has done with all the Wolverine runners so far today. Lugbauer, the left-hander, steps in there. Waits the first pitch. A check swing. No swing, according to the third base umpire, Andre Lenoy. So that one will go down as a ball on Drew Lugbauer. Forsythe holds that glove on his left hand up near his chest. Then comes set and holds it more near his stomach and fires away. That one catches the outside corner for a strike, 1-1. Lugbauer definitely locked in at the plate right now after a couple home runs yesterday. He's up to 8 on the season, leads the team. Looking for something he can drive here. 1-1 pitch. That one's in there for a strike. Look, that one was right down the middle, but perhaps a little bit of a breaking ball there as Lugbauer not ready for that one. Now he's down in the count, 1-2. Lugbauer swings that bat down by his knees over the plate. Waiting for Forsythe to come set. He finally does. And the 1-2 pitch. Swung at and bounced to the first baseman, Berger. He's going to throw to second for one. The relay throw not in time. So Penn State gets one out of the affair, retiring Berdar at second. But Lugbauer replaced him at first as Slater moves over to third on the play. It's first and third now, one out for Miles Lewis. Lewis, left-handed batter with a double into right and a line out to shortstop already on the day. He stands in there from the left-handed batter's box and watches this one outside for a ball, 1-0. So Forsythe, after recording one out in the inning here, perhaps looking to get out of it if he can get a ground ball somewhere on the infield. Lewis, the 1-0 pitch hit by Lewis into the left field. This one's going back. Riato makes the catch in deep left field. That'll bring in Johnny Slater on the sac fly for an RBI. Michigan now up 7-1 as Miles Lewis drives in his second run of the game. On the play, Drew Lugbauer remained at first. Just throw from the left fielder. Riato went towards second, trying to prevent another Wolverine runner from moving up into scoring position. There are now 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning for the left-handed hitting Jake Bivens. Bivens on the day was hit by a pitch back in the 1st and grounded out to second back in the 3rd. He watches the first pitch, a little low and away there for a ball, 1-0. It's a nice pitch there by Forsythe, perhaps going with a changeup or some sort, or maybe a two-seamer tailing away from the left-handed hitting Bivens. That pitch misses high, a breaking ball for ball 2. Michael Conlon behind the plate, not being very gracious with those high breaking balls today. Calling them a ball more often than not. 2-0 pitch to Bivens is right down the middle for a strike. Looked like a fastball there that Bivens just watched go by. That potential to do some damage and not to his liking, I guess. 2-1 pitch now. Catches the outside corner for a strike, 2-2. So after a couple pitches with some movement, Forsythe comes back with a couple fastballs and evens the count at 2-2. 2-2, 2 outs here. As that ball is hit foul over the Wolverines' bullpen on the left side. Count remains 2-2. 2-2, 2 outs. Deuces Wild out there on the scoreboard. So it also displays the on-deck hitter Nick Poirier, 2 for 2. So that pitch misses inside and runs the count full, 3-2. And Lugbauer will be off with the pitch over at first base. 3-2, 2 outs. Payoff pitch. This one's lined towards left field. It'll be a nice, easy play, though, for Riato. He ranges over to his right and makes the grab to end the inning. But Michigan tacks on yet another run and extends their lead to 7-1 over the Nittany Lions after 4 innings.
Where our 3 contestants will race down the first base line. The first contestant to cross the finish line will win.
It looks like we're going to have some fun here at Ray Fisher Stadium with a potato sack race there on the field. They're coming down from that right field corner on the warning track. So we've got 3 contestants. They're coming down towards first base. There's a cone laid out just beyond the first base on the line, and we've got 1 wipeout. Oh, a second one almost down, and a third wipeout.
And down the stretch they come.
As we got 1 in a blue Michigan shirt, Braves cross crunch, 1 in a light blue shirt, and 1 in a Michigan sweatshirt. The t-shirt winner. The t-shirt wearer is your winner. Light blue sweatshirt going to come in second. And unfortunately, in the Michigan navy blue sweatshirt, going to come in third as he wasn't quite able to make it to that finish line. Really struggled getting down that line there, but can't really fault him. Having some fun here at Alumni Field on just a gorgeous day. For Penn State here in the top of the 5th, it's going to be the catcher Ryan Sloniger to lead off, followed by designated hitter Brent Davis and shortstop Logan Goodnight. Against Michael Henderson, who is just cruising along through 4 innings, only 51 pitches, 5 strikeouts on the day, only allowing a walk and 3 hits, 1 run, all the way back in the first. So Sloniger steps up to the plate, the left-handed hitting catcher. Grounded a double play his last time up as he watches that one inside for a ball. Sloniger tests both sides of the plate and waves that bat around his left shoulder as the pitch here is in there for a strike on the inside corner. It's 1-1. Sloniger's average down a bit to 185 after grounded double play, and he fouls that one off behind us and out of play out of Ray Fisher Stadium here towards Yost Ice Arena. That brings the count to 1-2. So Henderson up in the count 1-2, looking to put away Sloniger here. Ooh, and the breaking ball hits Sloniger in the helmet. That one got away from Hendrickson. Sloniger looks to be all right as he shakes it off and jogs down to first base.
Sloniger tried to avoid getting hit by that pitch by moving his head down, went straight into the back of the head.
Yeah, that breaking ball just kind of dipped back into his head. Like you said, if it was a fastball, he would have been able to duck out of the way of that one. But as it stands, he's standing on first base now. After what could have been a scary situation, was all right thanks to those helmets. As the designated right-handed hitting Brett Davis steps up to the plate and takes the first pitch for a ball. So 1-0 now, runner on first, nobody out. As Davis bounces this one towards third, Lugbauer charges. He's going to see if it goes foul, and it barely goes foul. Wow. Well, bouncing along the third base line, looked like it was going to stay fair. But Lugbauer just let it go, and it barely missed hitting the third base bag by, it could have been more than 2 or 3 inches there. It almost made a left turn just before coming to the bag. Went foul, and what looked like it might have been an infield base hit for Brett Davis turns into a strike. Count is now 1-1. Henderson sets for the 1-1 pitch and steps off. Perhaps trying to bait Sloniger into breaking one way or another. Sloniger not really a stolen base threat there as a catcher, 1-for-1 on the season, as the 1-1 pitch is swung at and missed by Brett Davis. It's 1-2. Davis relatively quickly steps back into the plate. He's got a bit of an open stance there. Holds that right elbow up high as he watches this 1-2 pitch. Just absolutely fooled there by Michael Hendrickson, and he goes down looking. That's Hendrickson's 6th strikeout of the day, and there's 1 out here now in the top of the 5th inning. Just a beautiful pitch by Hendrickson there. Started off the plate away, broke back right over the heart of the plate, and Brett Davis gave it a half effort there. Didn't end up even attempting a check swing. He just walked back to the dugout knowing Hendrickson got the best of him there. So that'll bring up Logan Goodnight with 1 out here. He squares around a bunt and pulls back, watches this one for a ball. So Goodnight up 1-0 in the count now. The right-handed hitting freshman watches this one inside for a ball, 2-0. Logan Goodnight so far on the season, including his ground out to third earlier, batting 122 only. In his first season with the Nittany Lions, he watches that one high and away for ball 3-0. Perhaps in position to get on base here. Manufacture something here for Penn State in the top of the 5th inning. They really struggled to do so against Michael Hendrickson since the first. The 3-0 pitch is right down the middle for strike 1. 3-1 the count now on Logan Goodnight. It's just his 42nd at-bat of the season as he fouls that one off over the press box here. The count has run full now. 3-2 with 1 out in the top of the 5th. Goodnight so far on the season in those limited at-bats. Only a couple extra base hits, both doubles. As he swings and misses at strike 3 from Hendrickson. So after hitting the first batter of the inning, Hendrickson retires the next 2 on strikeouts. Goodnight not happy there, slams his bat on the turf as he walks back towards the dugout.
Hendrickson's 7th strikeout of the day.
Yeah, already 7 strikeouts there. As our friend JP would say during the softball broadcast, 1 for every day of the week for you. So with 2 outs, the leadoff hitter, center fielder Jordan Bowersack steps up to the plate and watches a breaking ball low and away for ball 1. Bowersack singled the lead off the ball game and struck out on a pitch in the dirt last at bat. He stands in there, a very upright stance from that right-handed batter's box, and the 1-0 pitch is a breaking ball in there for a strike, 1-1. Runner at first is still Ryan Sloniger, the catcher. Got on with a hit by pitch to the head. And a swing and a miss there from Bowersack. Runs the count to 1-2. Little off balance there is Hendrickson dealing on the mound. Hendrickson holds that right glove up to his right shoulder. Left arm dangling down, comes set now and fires. This one's grounded towards the shortstop, Bernard. He backhands, makes a running throw, and retires. Bowersack over at first. Nice play there by Michael Bernard to end the inning. Penn State gets a leadoff runner on a hit by pitch, but again, nothing to show for it. As after 4.5, Michigan maintains a 7-1 lead.
And for those in the stands, it's the most fun part of the game.
Yeah.
Free t-shirt toss.
I don't know, we might be able to get one from up here in the booth if we throw our hands out with the window open, but doesn't look like they're looking up here. As we had Austin Fisher over here, am I right? Reach out there. Wasn't able to snag one. Of course, just part of the great atmosphere we've had today at Ray Fisher Stadium. The crowd really getting into the game. It helps when the Wolverines put up 5 runs early on and get the crowd on their feet and excited. As we're going to have a pitching change here for Penn State. It is going to be the freshman right-hander Miles Gaiman on the mound for Penn State. Gaiman on the year. This will only be his 4th appearance. He's got a 1.17 ERA. In 7 2/3 innings, he struck out 6, walked 2, and is holding batters to a 179 batting average against. Gaiman on there on the mound, a tall right-handed pitcher there, standing at 6'4", not quite as tall as we saw Taylor Lehman, left-hander, on Friday. Lehman stands at a menacing 6'8", one of 2 6'8" left-handers Penn State has in their bullpen. So a young team, but a very large team, especially out there coming out of the pen. Miles Gaiman, just a freshman out of Greencastle, Pennsylvania. He gets his shot now at the Wolverine order here in the 5th. First batter he'll face is going to be designated hitter Nick Poirier, followed by right fielder Jonathan Engelman and catcher Harrison Wenson. Poirier so far on the day has seen 2 pitches and has 2 singles. Came around to score in his last time on the base paths. With his 2-for-2 performance, his average up to 295 on the season. He scored his 18th run as he finally watches a pitch here. That one bounces low and in for a ball, 1-0. Boy, that left-handed batter stands in there and waits the 1-0 pitch. That one catches the outside corner for a strike. Very nice zip on that one from Gaiman. As he fires here again. That one's fouled behind the plate, 1-2. Gaiman definitely can bring the heat there out of the pen, as we can already see. He's zipping these fastballs in there. Definitely some. I'd like to see the readouts on the radar gun there. We'll have to check out on the scoreboard to see if they give that to us. It's the 1-2 pitch bounces in there for a ball. Count even now at 2-2. Of course, that was a breaking ball there, so we're not able to time up Gaiman's fastball and give that to you, but I'm going to show you, it looks like it is the fastest one we've seen today, it seems like. Gaiman steps off the mound, taking an extra second here to figure out what he wants to throw to try to put Poirier away. And here comes that 2-2 pitch. That's a fastball, low and in for a ball, 3-2. That one only clocked in at 89, but so far today, not a whole lot of speed out there from the mound for Penn State. So definitely a noticeable uptick here for the Wolverine hitters. We'll see if it throws them off balance at all. And here comes the payoff pitch. That one misses low for ball 4. 90-mile-an-hour fastball there from Gaiman, not able to reach its mark. And Nick Poirier on base for the 3rd time today. Following him up is the right fielder Jonathan Engelman. He is also 2 for 2 on the day with a couple singles to his name. Had an RBI back in the 1st. Looking to answer Poirier and get on base for his 3rd time on the day. So Engelman stands there on the right side, that right foot way back at the very back edge of the batter's box. As he watches the first pitch from Gaiman outside for a ball, you can hear that mitt popping with these fastballs from Gaiman. It's going to warrant a visit from the catcher Sloniger out there. As after getting ahead in the count against Poirier, ended up walking him and starts off 1-0 against Engelman. 2 of the better hitters for the Wolverines so far today. Engelman yesterday coming off a 3 for 4 day with a home run, drove in 3. As the 1-0 pitch is fouled off of Engelman. Straight down and up off his shoulder. It's 1-1 now. So 1-1 the count now on Engelman. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th. Michigan leading 7-1. Looking to sweep Penn State in this 3-game series. The 1-1 pitch, a breaking ball, misses high for a ball, 2-1. So Gaiman perhaps not being able to locate with the fastball, tried the breaking ball there and did not get down far enough. Engelman likes to take his time between pitches, adjust his helmet, think about exactly what he wants to do with his trip to the plate. The 2-1 pitch from Gaiman misses just outside for a ball. 3-1 the count now. And Engelman now in a hitter's count with a good position to do some damage here and extend that Wolverine lead potentially. That currently sits at 7-1. So Engelman rocking that bat over his right shoulder, up and down. Waits a 3-1 pitch. Here it is, and he lines that one up the middle. A line shot. That's going to be a base hit. And the bobble by the center fielder, Bauer Sox, allows Poirier to slide into third safely. And Engelman, a heads-up play there on the throw to third, moves up to second as well. So a single from Engelman. It looks like it's going to be an error on the center fielder, Bauer Sox, to allow both runners to move up an extra base, and 2 runners in scoring position now for the Wolverines with nobody out in the bottom of the 5th. Part of the credit there has to go to Poirier. He made a nice aggressive turn over at second and perhaps threw Bauer Sox off for a second, not expecting a ball that was hit that hard to allow Poirier to go first to third, and Poirier able to do so thanks to Bauer Sox's bobble out there, as he might have tried to rush that one. Harrison Wenson now steps up with a couple runners in scoring position and washes a breaking ball in there for a strike. Wenson 0 for 1, struck out back in the first inning, also drove in a run on a sacrifice fly in the third.
You know, Winston's father actually played ball at Michigan back in the day.
He did.
Paul Winston played here from 1986 to 1989.
So legacy here in Harrison. Winston watches that one for a ball, 1-1. Winston carrying on that family tradition of wearing the maize and blue here in Ann Arbor. Winston swings that bat in front of him and awaits the 1-1 pitch from Gaiman. He watches another breaking ball in there for a strike, so Winston perhaps not finding a breaking ball to his liking here as he's watched a couple go by. He's down in the count now, 1-2. Gaiman looking for his first strikeout of the day. It would only be the second strikeout of the day for Penn State. Winston, the only Wolverine to go down so far. Went down looking back in the first. And 1-2 pitch fouled off by Winston over the Penn State dugout into the netting. Count remains 1-2 as Winston definitely looked like he was behind that one. Got him a little in on the hands and he just able to get a piece of it and stay alive. There was another breaking ball there, tried to stay back. See if Gaiman decides to go with another breaking ball, seeing how Winston has had trouble timing it up or try to blow one past him here after throwing a few of those breaking balls. He does go with the fastball. That one bounces in there for a ball. Great stop there by the catcher, Slaniger. That would have 100% been a run had it gotten past. With Poirier ready to take off from third. As Winston awaits this 2-2 pitch. Gaiman taking his time out there, coming set. And the pitch. That one's low again in the dirt, ball 3. So Wenson, after falling behind in the count 1-2, fouled off a tough pitch and has run the count full. Of course, Harrison Wenson, the senior, with a lot of crowd support here at Ray Fisher Stadium. Put together some great work in his 4 years here in Ann Arbor. 3-2 pitch misses outside, and Wenson draws a walk. And the bases now are loaded with nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And it'll be the top of the Wolverine order coming to the plate with Akeo Thomas. But not before the head coach, Rob Cooper, strolls out to the mound. Doesn't look like he is motioned to the bullpen yet. I don't think he is going to. Perhaps just out there to have a little chat there with his pitcher, Gaiman, as he waved off the rest of the infield before strolling out there. Of course, the Wolverine coaches and runners all huddle in front of the dugout, along with the hitter at the plate, Akeo Thomas, the on-deck batter, Johnny Slater. All trying to figure out exactly what they want to do in this situation. The runners and coaches take their places on the base paths as head coach Rob Cooper strides back into the Penn State dugout. And Akeo Thomas steps up to the plate, ready for this first pitch and his first look at Gaiman. Akeo Thomas with a rare 0 for 2 so far today. Did get on with a hit by pitch in the first and came around to score. As that one misses inside for a ball, 1-0. And with this 0 for 2 performance so far, Akeo Thomas average all the way down to 327. Really slumping. He's standing there from the right side, like we mentioned before, really up on that plate. Pretty far back in the batter's box now against Gaiman. The 1-0 pitch misses inside for a ball, 2-0. So Gaiman, the first 3 batters getting a walk, a single, and a walk to load the bases. And falling behind in the count here against Akeo Thomas, 2-0. Gaiman comes set for the 2-0 pitch as Thomas watches this one right down the middle for a strike. Gaiman almost a get-me-over fastball there, and Thomas not able to take advantage of it. So he just watches that one go by. And Akeo Thomas ready for this 2-1 pitch, looking to do some damage here as he bounces that one foul towards the Wolverine dugout. Count evened up now at 2-2, and it would be a huge momentum swinger for Miles Gaiman here. If he can retire Thomas without allowing a run. Still nobody out in the inning with the bags loaded. 2-2 pitch from Gaiman and Thomas. Misses low for ball 3. Count is run full, and there's nowhere to put him. Thomas definitely not afraid to take a walk. 20 walks in the season, only 14 strikeouts. So he stands in there, awaiting this payoff pitch from Gaiman. The big right-hander comes set, fires, and Thomas lines this one up the middle off the mound. It'll be fielded by the shortstop, Goodnight, to prevent another run from scoring, but one run does come in on the play. That's going to go down as an RBI single from Akeo Thomas, and it could have been worse. So Thomas really smoked that one back up the middle, if not for that mound out there. That one was ticketed for center field, a couple runs coming in to score. Instead, bounced off the mound towards the shortstop, Goodnight, who made a nice adjustment. He was ranging over towards the middle, had to go back towards the hole between third and short. Fielded the ball, prevented another run from coming in, but Wolverines lead 8-1 here in the bottom of the fifth. I bring up Johnny Slater to the plate, and he watches the first pitch breaking ball outside for a ball, 1-0. So Johnny Slater, so far on the day, 1 for 3, a couple long flyouts to left center and a single. The 1-0 pitch, and that's going to plunk Slater there, and that's a painful RBI, but an RBI nonetheless, and Wolverines now up 9-1 on Penn State, looking to get into double digits for the third time this weekend. So not the best inning so far for Miles Gaiman. He's come in, surrendered a couple hits, a couple walks, and now hit a batter, and 2 earned runs on his resume because of it. That'll bring up the shortstop, Michael Berdar, with still nobody out in the inning, and the bases remain loaded. Berdar, that right-handed batter, patiently waiting in that batter's box for Gaiman to get his sign. Gaiman bent over at the waist, then comes set with his hands low around by his hips. Big man fires, fastball for a strike. 0-1 the count now on Berdar. Gaiman's ERA, after giving up a couple runs without recording an out so far, is ballooned up a little bit to 3.52. As the 0-1 pitch misses way outside. 1-1. As Bob Bucher would say, just a bit outside. Berdar even up in this count, 1-1. He is 1 for 2 on the day with the walk. Also had a single back in the first inning. That low crouch down stance. Watches this 1-1 pitch outside for a ball, 2-1. Berdar on the season, 3 home runs, 21 RBIs, and definitely a chance to add to that here. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. That one misses outside again, ball 3. So Gaiman definitely struggling with his command, and with action in that Penn State bullpen, would not be surprised to see a change here should he be unable to retire Berdar. It looks like number 7, the right-hander Nick DeStasio, in that Penn State bullpen. Still all quiet on the left field line in the Michigan bullpen. The 3-1 pitch is in there for a strike, 3-2. Berdar looked like he was almost taking all the way there. Perhaps forcing Gaiman, struggling with his command in the inning, to come in and throw 2 strikes to Berdar. So full count now with the bases loaded. Here comes that payoff pitch. That ball's bounced toward third. The third baseman, Helsel Fields, throws home. The relay throw will not be made towards first base. So Penn State able to get the lead runner out and prevent another run from scoring. But the bases still are loaded here with 1 out for Drew Lugbauer.
The first baseman, number 17, Drew Lugbauer.
Lugbauer, perhaps the hottest Wolverine hitter this weekend. We mentioned yesterday a double, 2 home runs. Today already a double to his credit. Over the last 2 days, 5 RBIs. And the first pitch to Lugbauer misses outside for a ball. It's 1-0. Lugbauer, that powerful left-handed hitter. Stands in there. Waiting the 1-0 pitch from Gaiman. That one misses low, 4-ball, 2-0 now. And Drew Lugbauer ahead in the count here. Very dangerous situation if you're Miles Gaiman. Lugbauer in that hitter's count, 2-0. With all his power and the bases loaded, this one could get broken open even more than it already is. Wolverines leading 9-1 as it looked like Lugbauer had that same idea I did and took a nice big hack, but swung and missed, 2-1. Only here in the bottom of the 5th. Wolverines already scored 9 runs, looking to reach the double-digit run threshold for the 3rd time in this 3-game series. The 2-1 pitch to Lugbauer. Swung at and missed again for strike 2. Gaiman with a little off-speed pitch there. Got Lugbauer out in front. Maybe a little over-eager here to do some damage was Lugbauer. Count even now 2-2. If Miles Gaiman could get a strikeout here, that would be huge in terms of getting out of this inning. That 2-2 pitch lined up the middle by Lugbauer. That one is going to drop in front of the center fielder, Bauer Sox, and bounce past him. 1 run is in. 2 runs are in. Bauer is around third. He's going to come around to score, and Lugbauer is going to go all the way to third base on the play. Bases clearing single, maybe? We'll see how they decide to score that one, but nonetheless, 3 more runs coming across for the Wolverines. And it is now 12-1. Drew Lugbauer just continuing his hot hitting.
That clocks in for Lugbauer's 34th, 35th, and 36th RBI of the season.
Lugbauer definitely a huge cog in the Wolverine attack, leading the team in RBIs. As it looks like that's going to be the end of the day for Miles Gaiman as he's serenaded by the PA system here at Ray Fisher Stadium. It is going to be the right-handed junior, Nick DeStasio, coming in to pitch for Penn State. DeStasio on the year. This will be his 9th appearance. He's got a 5.75 ERA, perhaps coming in a bit of mop-up duty here. He does have 3 saves on the season, though. In 20 and a third innings, he struck out 24, only walked 7. So definitely a strikeout pitcher, which is something Penn State could use here on a day when they have lacked that strikeout power. Still no official score on that Lugbauer at bat. If I was taking a guess, I'd say a single and at least 2 RBIs. This ball bounced in front of the center fielder, Bauer Sox, and ate him up there, skipped past him. Bauer Sox looked like he wasn't quite sure if he wanted to dive, try to make a play on that ball in the air, field on a hop. He opted to field it on a hop, and it just didn't work out there. So when we get underway, Nick DeStasio will face Miles Lewis to start the inning. DeStasio a little bit shorter in stature here than what we just saw, as opposed to the 6'4" Gaiman. He clocks in only at 5'11". From Ole, Pennsylvania. Went to Ole Valley High School. And Miles Lewis, the first batter he will face on the day so far. 1 for 2. Drove in a run with an RBI double in the first, as well as another run on a sac fly in the 4th. Brings his season total up to 17 RBIs. He also came around to score a run back in that first inning, his 20th run scored. So with the Wolverines leading 12-1 here in the bottom of the 5th inning, still batting 1 out, runner on third, and it looks like indeed Lugbauer gets credit for a single on the play. single on the play and a 2-base error. And only credit for 1 RBI for Lugbauer as the first pitch to Lewis is popped up towards short. Goodnight is out into left field to make the grab for out number 2. So Lewis hopping on DeStasio as he comes in here. Pops out for the second out of the inning. 2 outs here, bottom of the 5th. Bringing up Jake Bivens. Bivens so far on the day. 0 for 2, grounded out to second, back in the 3rd, and flew out to center back in the 4th. Coming up to bat for the 3rd straight inning, watches the first pitch for a strike. Bivens also hit by a pitch back in the 1st inning and came around to score his 18th run on the season. He watches the second pitch for a strike. He's down 0-2 in the count now against DeStasio. DeStasio, that right-handed hitter, looking to get out of the inning without any more damage being done. Twists back towards second base before throwing. Check swing here by Bivens, did not go around, ball 1. That was awfully close, but according to third base umpire Andre Lenoy, did not go around. So count now 1-2 on the first baseman Bivens. This pitch misses high, gets past the catcher Sloniger, and that's going to lead to another Wolverine run as Lugbauer trots home from third base. Score now all the way up to 13-1 Michigan. And at this point, barring some catastrophic implosion here by the Wolverine pitching staff, this one looks to be well in hand. We're only in the bottom of the 5th. As Bivens watches one on the outside corner for strike 3. Perhaps a little bit off the corner, but home plate umpire Michael Conlon, I'm sure, realizes the gravity of this situation and ready to end that inning. So after 5, Michigan tacks on 6 more runs, extends their lead to 13-1 over Penn State in the 3rd game of this 3-game series. Once again, Michigan looking to sweep. Already scored 38 runs in the series. Just an astronomical amount. And we're only through 5 here in the 3rd game. So Michael Henderson will resume on the mound for the Wolverines when we get started again. He'll face the 2-3-4 hitters in the Penn State lineup. That'll be third baseman Christian Helsel, first baseman Willie Berger, and second baseman Conlon Hughes. We'll see if Penn State opts to get any lesser played players in the game here, perhaps pinch hitting at some point during this inning or within the next several innings. So in a game like this where it's 13-1, normally time for some of the younger guys to play, but as you see with this Penn State team, they're a young team in general, so all the playing time for a lot of these starters, all the playing time they can get, the better. Because they're the guys that are going to carry this team over the next several years. One of those guys is not going to be the senior Christian Helsel. Right-handed hitting third baseman strolls to the plate to face Hendrickson for the 3rd time today. So first pitch misses outside for ball 1. Helsel 0 for 2 on the day, including a strikeout back in the 1st inning. So 1-0 the count now as Hendrickson fires to Helsel. Helsel drives this one deep towards center field. Slater ranges back. He's going to have plenty of room, though. And he makes the catch for out number 1. Off the bat, that one sounded and looked like it was going to go a lot farther than it did.
First baseman number 28, Willie Berger.
That'll bring up the first baseman, Willie Berger. Only a sophomore Berger is entrenched in that 3 spot. He's 1 for 2 on the day with an RBI single. That's boosted his batting average up to 293 on the season. And he watches the first pitch from Hendrickson. In there for a strike, 0-1. The 0-1 pitch is swung at and fouled off to the right side and over the stands here. Out of play, 0-2. So down 0-2 in the count now. Willie Berger looking to avoid his 22nd strikeout of the season. As Henderson fires and swing and a miss from Berger. Henderson sets down his 8th batter of the day on strikes. And there are now 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning.
Second baseman number 2, Cameron Hughes.
That'll bring up the second baseman, Conlon Hughes, another sophomore. So the 3-4 hitters for Penn State, including the leadoff hitter Jordan Bowersox, had a really impressive weekend. All sophomores. Really representative of just how young this Penn State team is. As Hughes watches the first pitch high for a ball, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch from Henderson is shot up the middle. A nice ranging play to his right by Berdar. He bobbles the ball, somehow grabs it with his bare hand and fires over to first base to record the out. What a play by Berdar. It almost started out like a comedy reel. He was able to feel the ball with his glove, and as he transitioned to his bare hand, bobbled it a couple times, gathered it, and somehow threw an accurate strike over to Bivens at first. So a really nice play there by Berdard to end the inning, and Penn State goes down 1-2-3 in the top of the 6th. Michigan still leads 13-1. It looks like it will be Nick DeStasio to stay in for Penn State. The junior right-hander does not have an easy task to start off here, as just as the Wolverines led off with last inning, it'll be designated hitter Nick Poirier, right fielder Jonathan Engelman, and catcher Harrison Wenson, all of whom reached base last inning. Poirier and Engelman for their 3rd time of the day. So DeStasio here, looking to just keep this one the way it is, not wanting to make this any worse. It's already a lopsided, ugly-looking score on the scoreboard, just looking to contain this one and not make it into a historically bad score here. So it'll be left-handed hitting Nick Poirier at the plate, 2 for 2 on the day, also walked. As he watches the first pitch outside for a ball, 1-0. Poirier drove in a run earlier, his 9th RBI, and has scored twice, his 18th and 19th runs of the season. The 1-0 pitch to him is lined towards right field. Right fielder Giovanni going back near the track. That one's going to get down at the wall. Poirier is going to cruise into second base without a throw there. And Poirier with his 3rd hit of the day, a double to start the bottom half of the 6th for the Wolverines. Bringing up the red-hot Jonathan Engelman. So Michigan not content with the score the way it is. Either that or looking to pad their stats a little bit here, as there is just no let-up for this Wolverines lineup. In the 8th spot, you got possibly the hottest hitter on the team, ready to do some damage here. If not for Drew Lugbauer, you make the case that Engelman probably is the hottest hitter. Definitely one of the top 2 at this point, but Nick Poirier challenging him with that with his 3rd hit of the day. As Engelman watches the first pitch for a ball. Engelman already has 3 hits on the day. He's 3 for 3 with 3 singles to his name. Drove in his 16th run of the season, scored his 17th run of the season. So DeStasio Ready there on the mound for the 1-0 pitch. Rocks back and fires. That one misses low and away for ball 2. 2-0 now on Engelman. Engelman, last time at the plate, singled back just last inning, came around to score. 2-0 pitch, swung at and missed by Engelman. Big hack there, looking to put one over that brick wall in left field, or out towards the softball game going on at Alumni Field out in center field. We'll get you a score update on that softball game in just a second. Given this one is pretty much out of hand at this point, 13-1 in favor of Michigan. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That one's fouled straight back to the netting. Evens the count up at 2-2. So 2-2 the count now on Jonathan Engelman. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Runner on second for Michigan, leading 13-1.
And back for that score update. Across the way at Alumni Field, Michigan softball is up on Northwestern 2-0 at the top of the 4th.
So maintaining their shutout streak so far. They have 6 in a row. Going for their 7th so far today. Just a dynamic pitching staff they have over there in Megan Betts and Tara Blanco. As the 2-2 pitch misses low and in to Engelman. Count is full now. So Engelman taking his time in between pitches, we mentioned earlier. Likes to adjust that helmet a couple times. Get that bat sitting in his hand just the way he wants it. And he awaits a 3-2 pitch here from DeStasio. He fouls that one off to the left side. Is it going to stay in play? No, it will not, as that one hooks foul towards some cars and off the hood of a parked car. Luckily, I did not drive here today. I don't think that was me. I don't know. Are you good over there?
I walked. That's an expensive fix.
Hopefully not too bad, as it did hit the hood of the car and not the windshield. So that's always a good sign there. There's a couple people sitting outside in the tailgate of their cars there. It looked like he might have had a shot to field that one, but opted not to. As the 3-2 pitch misses high and in, that's ball 4, and Engelman gets on base for his 4th time of the day. Runners on first and second now, nobody out for Harrison Wenson. And now the man over there watching the game from his car ranges over to check on that dent perhaps in the hood of another car. Also looks like we have some Penn State fans leaving already in the parking lot. Can't really blame him at this point as Harrison Wenson steps in and watches the first pitch high for a ball, 1-0. Wenson so far on the day, 0 for 1. Struck out back in the first, but 2 other plate appearances so far. He drove in a run on a sac fly back in the 3rd and walked in the 5th, only to be thrown out at home on a bounce to the 3rd. He stands in there waiting the 0-1 pitch, and that one's a strike. I thought it was 1-1, but apparently the scoreboard says 0-2, and according to the umpire, it is indeed 1-1. So 1-1 is the count now on Wenson, as they correct it up here at the scoreboard at Ray Fisher Stadium. Swenson hits a high pop fly towards the left side. It's in foul territory. Is it going to stay in play? It will not, and lands just beyond the stands. That one was way up there, and oh, what a grab there by one of the kids in the stands. Got it on a hop. It was just beyond the stands on the concrete. It bounced up. He reached over the railing and made a grab, and he's got himself a nice souvenir now. Meanwhile, on the field, Harrison Wenson down on the count, 1-2. Here comes that 1-2 pitch. He lines this one into left field. That's going to go for a base hit. Riado Fields, runners are held, going station to station here as Riado makes a strong throw home. And the bases loaded once again for Michigan here with nobody out in the bottom of the 6th inning. It looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter here as the Wolverines try to mix in some less used players. It'll be number 15, Jimmy Kerr, the sophomore out of Scottsdale, Arizona, striding to the plate in place of Makeo Thomas.
Jimmy Kerr is also a legacy of Michigan baseball. Both his father and his grandfather, alumni of the game.
And the first pitch to Kerr is fouled off to the left side near Yost Ice Arena for strike one. Kerr, a left-handed batter. And on the season, batting .237. This will just be his 39th at bat as that one catches the outside corner for a strike. He does have 1 home run to his credit and 5 RBIs. A chance to add to that RBI total here with the bases loaded in the bottom of the 6th. Kerr swings that bat down by his knees in that left-handed batter's box. Waiting the pitch from DeStazio. The 0-2 pitch catches the outside corner and Kerr goes down looking for out number 1. Big strikeout there by DeStazio with the bases loaded. Records the first out of the inning and perhaps makes it possible to get out of the inning here with the ground ball. It will not be Johnny Slater he'll get the ground ball from, though. We're going to have another pinch hitter for the Wolverines. It'll be number 32, Joe Pace, a redshirt freshman out of Valley Village, California.
For those following along with the major leagues, Evan Longoria has just launched the first home run of the season. And in fact, he just tied for the most on an opening day home runs among active players.
And speaking of home runs, Pace stepping to the plate right now went deep yesterday in the ball game in Michigan's 15-2 win over Penn State. He watches the first pitch here for a ball, 1-0. So 1-0 pitch now to Pace is in there for a strike. So Joe Pace so far on the season, this will only be his 6th at bat, and after that home run yesterday, he's batting .200. It was only hit so far on the season, a long ball. A 1-on-1 pitch misses outside to him, 2-1.
At 13 runs, though, Wolverines only 2 back from tying their most hits. If I'm not mistaken, it's 15 runs was their most runs for the year.
We'll get that fact checker on you. As that one is lined into right field. Giovadoni spun around a bit. He's going to make the grab, but a run is going to score there as Poirier tags from third. Engelman tags from second. Wenson will remain on first, but the score now 14-1 Wolverines after a sacrifice fly by Joe Pace.
And actually with that, the Wolverines do tie their most runs scored per a game this year so far with 14-2 against Loyola Marymount back on March 1st.
That is their second most actually now after they put up 15 yesterday. Looking to do the exact same today. But like you said, a couple of crooked numbers for the Wolverines. You've seen a 15-run outburst yesterday, a 14-run outburst today, and as well as early on against Loyola Marymount. A couple other crooked scores. They put up 10 on Friday earlier on in the week, put up 12 and 13 in games against Toledo and Central Michigan, respectively. Just a dynamic offense this season for the Wolverines, powering them to that 22nd ranking in the country. As the first 2 pitches to the shortstop, Michael Berdar, split 1-1. Berdar, that right-handed hitter so far on the day. 1 for 3, scored a couple runs, also has a walk to his credit. As the 1-1 pitch misses, low and in for a ball, 2-1. So with those 2 runs on the season, Berdar up to 24 runs scored. As he bats here with 2 outs here. At the bottom of the 6th inning. He lines this one to the shortstop. Diving grab by Goodnight over at short to end the inning. So Goodnight flashing the leather a little bit over there. And Penn State gets out of the inning, only allowing 1 run. Wolverine lead extended just a bit more, though. It now stands at 14-1, 2/3 of the way through this ball game.
All fans that bring and donate 2 or more canned goods will receive free admission to this game, and all canned food will be donated to food gatherers of Ann Arbor. For more information or to purchase tickets, visit EnroBlue.com.
And it looks like advertised here at Ray Fisher Stadium on Tuesday, April 4th. That's just in a couple days. The Michigan baseball team welcomes in the Notre Dame Fighting Irish for a game at 7 o'clock. It is the canned food drive here at Ray Fisher Stadium. If you donate 2 canned goods, you get free admission to the game.
Those canned goods go down to Food Gatherers, who maintains the kitchen down at the homeless shelter off of East Washington. It's good work that they do down there.
Very good work down there. They do some great work down there, so really encourage everyone to come out if you can to Ray Fisher Stadium this Tuesday. A bit of a rivalry game there between Michigan and Notre Dame. And of course, if you do bring those canned goods, get your free admission and help out a good cause while watching some very good baseball. If this is any indication of what you're going to see on Tuesday, you are in for a treat watching this Wolverines offense. We're going to get several changes here, including a pitching change for the Wolverines for the first time today. It is going to be number 34, Jack Bredesen, coming into pitch. Bredesen, the sophomore right-hander. So far on the season for Bredesen, this will be his 8th appearance. His ERA, a bit of a bloated 9.53. He's only pitched in 5 2/3 innings. Struck out 3, walked 3. Opponents are hitting .318 against him. He'll look to do a little bit better here as he faces Nick Riotto to start the top of the 7th inning. First pitch from Bredesen misses for a ball, 1-0. Other changes for you. Pace stays in for Slater and plays center. Kerr stays in for Thomas and plays second. We're also getting a look at Dominic Clementi, who is coming in to play left field for Miles Lewis. As the second pitch there from Riotto is grounded towards first. Bivens is able to make the play unassisted for the first out of the inning. So Bredesen comes in and on just a couple pitches there, able to retire Riotto.
That's Bredesen on the mound, right?
It is Bredesen on the mound.
That name sounds familiar.
Why is that?
Isn't his younger brother, Ben Bredesen, a new offensive lineman on the football team?
It is indeed Ben Bredesen, a freshman over there. Plays at the big house that we can see from our nice perch here at Ray Fisher Stadium. Ben Bredesen got some playing time last year on the gridiron for Jim Harbaugh's squad, and his brother getting some action here on the mound against Penn State today. As the second pitch there to Braxton Giovanni misses for a ball, counts 2-0 now. So pitch Giovanni now is fouled straight back. Bring the count to 2-1. The scoreboard does have it down as 0-2. Umpire again signaling it is indeed 2-1. So 2-1 pitch, that one bounced over to short. Berdar backhands that one, makes the play to first for the second out of the inning. So 2 quick outs here in the top of the 7th, just as we saw out of Michael Hendrickson over the last several innings, just working quickly out there, retiring these Penn State batters with ease pretty much, and really allowing this game to chug along, and it looks like we are going to have another replacement here. Is Alex Malinsky, the senior catcher, replaces Ryan Sloniger in the lineup here. Watches the first pitch from Bredesen for a ball. So Malinsky awaits the 1-0 pitch from Bredesen. That one spiked in there for ball 2. 2-0 now. Saw Malinsky a little bit already in this series. One of only 3 seniors that started for Penn State back on Friday. Only the second time all 3 seniors have been able to start on the same day for Penn State. As the third pitch to him misses for a ball. 3-0. So Malinsky up ahead in the count 3-0 here. That pitch misses low and in for ball 4 from Bredesen, and Penn State has a runner on here with 2 outs in the top of the 7th inning. That'll bring up the DH on the day, Brett Davis. Davis so far 0 for 2. Struck out back in the 5th against Michael Hendrickson, who really just did a great job on the day. Hendrickson's line for you. 6 innings pitched. Only gave up 3 hits, only walked 1, struck out 8 while only allowing 1 run. So really just a great outing by Hendrickson, and taken out relatively early as he only threw 76 pitches on the game. All those long innings from the Wolverines offense. Perhaps didn't want to get his arm warm and cold too many times in the game, as head coach Eric Bakich opted to take him out after 6, and Bredesen up with 2 strikes already on Brett Davis. So 0-2 on Davis. Bredesen sets and throws. That one misses low for a ball. 1-2. Bredesen, a tall right-handed pitcher, stands at 6'6", from Heartland, Wisconsin. Has a bit of a odd-looking delivery. Kind of throws over the top, bends down, doesn't really use that height, and then comes over the top of that long right arm. And it works there. It fools Brett Davis. He swings and misses at strike 3. That's going to end the top of the 7th. Penn State once again 1 runner on, no runs to show for it. And after 6.5, Michigan's lead stands at 14-1. As we get our 7th inning stretch here at Ray Fisher Stadium, it looks like we had a bit of commotion down there, down by the softball game.
Update on that softball score. Michigan's still up 3-0 on Northwestern, continuing the shutout streak.
So we'll keep an eye on that one for you. Give you some score updates so you can keep it tuned here to see how well Michigan can finish this one off against Penn State, although can't really fault you if you opt to go over and watch that softball team. Both teams ranked so far this season. Looks like the Michigan softball team, I believe they're around 18th if I'm not mistaken. I'll get that for you in a second. They are actually they are 20th on the season. My mistake there. And of course your 22nd ranked Michigan baseball team in action here. So should be shaping up for a really nice spring for Michigan athletics, as both lacrosse teams coming out and showing up very well, including the men's lacrosse team, a bit of a surprise so far this season. Also ranked after, I believe it's only the 3rd or 4th season at the Division I level. Doing a great job representing the maize and blue. And really after what we saw in both the fall and the winter section of sports, Michigan athletics in a great position here.
Wow, 8-1 on the lacrosse team. No idea.
Men's lacrosse here ranked 19th. And like you said, at 8-1 on the season. And of course, we do have some of those men's lacrosse calls for you here on WCBN Sports. You can check our website, WCBNsports.org, or follow us on Twitter at WCBN Sports for all the updates on which games we will be calling throughout the season. Of course, we'll have plenty of Michigan baseball and softball for you. We'll have some lacrosse action for you when we can get that to you. As well as I believe we might have a little bit of water polo coming up also. As Drew Lugbauer steps in for the Wolverines here. Got another pitching change on the mound for Penn State. It's going to be Cole Bartles, the freshman right-hander in the game for them, to face Lugbauer. Lugbauer watched the first pitch for a ball, 1-0, and he lines one into center field. This one's going to hang up just long enough for Bowersox to make the play, though. 1 out in the bottom of the 7th inning. And that's going to bring up,
number 43, Dominic Clementi.
That will bring up Dominic Clementi, who we saw replace Miles Lewis last inning in left field. He'll get his first at-bat of the day. Clementi, left-handed batter, watches the first pitch here for a strike from Bartles on the mound. Bartles, Penn State pitcher here, making his 9th appearance. He has a 6.06 ERA coming in. He has walked 16, only struck out 8 so far in his 16 innings of work. So command may be an issue here, but he's up in the count. 0-2 now on Clementi after he fouls that one off to the screen. Clementi on the season, only his 16th at bat, but in those 15 that he's had so far, batting .467, 7 for 15. He watches the 0-2 pitch outside for a ball, 1-2. Yeah, batting .467 on the year, all singles is all 7 of his hits. Driven in 3. No one on base for him right here now with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. So he watches the 1-2 pitch high for a ball, 2-2. Clementi, that left-handed hitter, has the armband on his left wrist. As that one is fouled back to the screen again. Count remains 2-2. Bartles works from the windup on the past couple of Penn State pitchers we've seen. Bartles has started a couple games this season. As the 2-2 pitch misses outside for a ball, 3-2 now on Clementi. Yeah, Bartles, of his 8 appearances, not including today, has made 3 starts. Clementi grounds that one towards short. The shortstop, Goodnight, ranges over to his right, backhands, makes the play for out number 2. So 2 outs here. At the bottom of the 7th inning, Jake Bivens strides up to the plate for his 5th plate appearance on the day. He is 0 for 3 rather so far. They get on base and score a run back in the first on a hit by pitch. His average on the season dipped down a little bit to .255 as a product of the 0 for 3 day, but his on base percentage still holding up pretty nicely at .421. First pitch to him misses outside for a ball, 1-0. As Bartles winds up and the pitch misses outside again, 2-0. Bivens, the left-handed hitting first baseman, steps in there, holds that bat a little out in front of him. As he skies this one high, pop fly to the right side. It's in foul territory. Will it stay in play for Berger? He ranges to the wall, and it barely gets out of play. Berger looked like he was ready to make a leap over the short wall down the right field line and could not reach out quite far enough to make that play. The count runs to 2-1. So Bivens stays alive despite getting underneath that ball, and ball perhaps helped by the wind there, as it looks like based on our flag out in left center, the wind blowing in a little bit, maybe blowing in towards that right side. Might have knocked that one out of play. 2-1 pitch to Bivens is grounded towards short on one hop. Goodnight Fields throws to first. And that's the third out of the inning. So the first 1-2-3 inning of the day for Penn State. After 7, Michigan still leads 14-1. As we mentioned several times already today, Michigan looking to complete the sweep over Penn State after a 10-6 win on Friday, a 15-2 win yesterday, and so far up 14-1. Going into the 8th here today, we're going to see another pitching change for the Wolverines. Coming into the game is going to be your right-handed pitcher, Jack Weisenberg. Interestingly enough, Weisenberg listed as both a right-handed pitcher and an outfielder in our guide here, as he has come up to the plate, seen a couple of action in some games at the plate. He's 0 for 1 there, but more relevant is his work on the mound for you. This will be his 3rd appearance. He's got himself a nice sparkling 0.0 ERA in 3 innings pitched. He struck out 3, walked 1, only allowed 2 hits. Batter's batting 182 against him. We'll let you know if we have any other defensive changes. It looks like there aren't any on first look. As it currently sits out in the field, from left to right in the outfield, it's Clementi, Pace, and Engelman. Engelman, the only outfielder still in the game who started today. And on the infield, Lugbauer and Bernard still on that left side. Kerr took over for Thomas at second. And Bivens still over there at first base. And Wenson appears to be going the distance behind the plate today, catching his 3rd pitcher in Weisenberg. So Weisenberg will face Logan Goodnight, the shortstop, who had a bit of a busy inning last inning, recording a couple outs on ground outs. The right-handed hitter steps in to face the right-handed throwing Weisenberg and fires that one in for a strike. So the 0-1 pitch from Weisenberg to Goodnight bounces in there for a ball, 1-1. So after the conclusion of today's game, as we mentioned, Notre Dame comes to town on Tuesday, April 4th. I believe we will indeed have that call for you on WCBN, as the 1-1 pitch is in there for a strike, 1-2. The 1-2 pitch swung at and missed for strike 3. Weisenberg comes in and sets down Goodnight. Goodnight with this hat trick on the day, his 3rd strikeout. And there's now 1 out here in the top of the 8th inning. That'll bring up the center fielder, Jordan Bowersox. So after Henderson came in, struck out 7, or sorry, rather struck out 8. We saw Bredesen strike out 1 last inning, and Weisenberg added 1 of his own today. Double digits on the day for Michigan as Weisenberg comes in, continues to pound the zone, throws strike 1 to Bowersox. The 0-1 to Bowersox misses low and in for a ball, 1-1. Bowersox out there, the 5'10" right-handed hitting center fielder, been very impressive in this series. Really impressive all year long as he grounds that one hard to the second baseman Kerr. He'll field, throw to first for the out. And they're out 2 outs in the inning here on the top of the 8th.
3rd baseman number 8, Christian Helso.
As you're saying, Bowersox really impressive so far in the season. Even with a bit of a slower day today, he was 1 for 3 before that hit. Still batting .361 on the season. Definitely very promising out of the sophomore. As the first pitch to Christian Helsel misses low and in for a ball. Helsel on the day 0 for 3 with 1 strikeout all the way back in the first. Since then he's flew out a couple times. And he swings and misses, big swing there against Weisenberg, 1-1. So 1-1 the count now, as that pitch misses outside, 2-1. So Weisenberg down in the count here for the first time. 2-1 as that one's lined by Helsel into center. That one's going to hang up enough for Pace to make the play, though. And another 1-2-3 inning here in the top of the 8th. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th now. Michigan maybe looking to tack on some insurance runs here. I don't know. They're up 14-1. You don't really need them. It's never a bad idea to keep the sticks hot, though, going into that Tuesday matchup against Notre Dame that we mentioned. Of course, after that Notre Dame matchup, Michigan home really all month through the 23rd of April. After that matchup against Notre Dame, they'll play Bowling Green on Wednesday. A 4 p.m. start time there. Next weekend series, once again here, another Big Ten series. It'll be Illinois coming into town for a 3-game set. Meanwhile, the Penn State Nittany Lions, after departing here, have a Tuesday game at Pittsburgh, and then have their Big Ten opening home series against the Ohio State Buckeyes next weekend. For now, though, we're wrapping up this 3-game series as it appears we're going to have a pinch hitter here for Michigan. It's got to be number 35, Brock Keener, coming into the game.
Number 35, Brock Keener.
So it'll be Keener getting some of that time at the dish here. Other left-handed hitter. He's only had 5 at-bats on the season. He's 2 for 4. Has driven in a couple runs, but a couple hits, so just a couple singles here. Looks pretty good on the scoreboard, though, with that 400 batting average. As the first pitch to him is in there for a strike. On the mound still is Cole Bartles for Penn State. He is the 5th pitcher for the Nittany Lions today. As the 0-1 pitch misses for a ball, 1-1. Looks like down in the bullpen we have some double barrel action. Looks like 47, number 47, Tommy Henry perhaps warming up down there. I can't quite make out who the second one is. As there's a ground ball to second base. Hughes Fields throws to first for the first out of the inning. 1 down here, bottom of the 8th for Jonathan Engelman. We got a couple lefties down there in the bullpen. We know Tommy Henry is one of them. Can't quite tell who the other one is from our vantage point. We'll see who head coach Eric Bakich decides to go with in the 9th inning. Right now it's Jonathan Engelman at the plate here in the bottom of the 8th. 1 out, nobody on to face Bartles. That one is swung at and fouled back to the screen, 0-1.
That other pitcher warming up at the bullpen appears to be Grant Roos, number 42, another left-handed pitcher, junior.
So Wolverines probably going with a lefty there in the top of the 9th, unless they decide to go with Weisenberg for another inning. As the 0-1 pitch to Engelman misses outside, it's 1-1. So 0-1 the count, or 1-1 the count now on Jonathan Engelman. Swing and a miss there from Engelman. 1-2. As the 1-2, Engelman takes his time out there. Bartles appears ready to go on the mound, but Engelman not letting a pitcher get into a nice rhythm there. One of the strengths of him, as he watches the 1-2 pitch miss away for ball 2. Count even up now at 2-2. So the 2-2 pitch to Engelman. fouled off toward the right side and over the stands here, out of play. Count remains 2-2. Engelman standing in there. As the other 2-2 pitch is fouled off by Engelman, this time to the left side. Looks like a young fan will get a souvenir over there. Count remains 2-2. Engelman stands very close to that plate in the right-handed batter's box. Bartles fires, and that one's lined into right field. Giovanni ranging over to his left. He's going to make the grab on a hooking line drive from Engelman. Another hard hit ball there as he stays hot, but nonetheless is an out. And that'll bring up Harrison Wenson for his 5th time at the plate today. So Harrison Wenson strides to the plate so far on the day. Only 1 for 2, despite this being his 5th plate appearance. Is a sacrifice fly and a walk on the day. He watches the first pitch for a strike from Bartles. So Wenson standing in there, waiting for the 0-1 pitch. That one misses low and away for ball one, 1-1. Two outs here, bottom of the 8th. Michigan up 14-1, looking to finish off the sweep of Penn State. As that pitch misses high and away for ball 2. 2-1 the count now. Wenson taps both sides of the plate with his bat. And Bartles fires away, and Wenson hits this one high in the air, deep towards left field. The left fielder, Riotto, back at the track. He's going to have room, though, as that one looked like it was hit just a little too high. The wind might have knocked that one down. Wenson just missed his 6th home run of the season there. It's just a long, loud out, and we're going to head to the top of the 9th inning. Score, Michigan 14, Penn State 1. We're talking a lot about the Wolverine offense so far this weekend. 39 runs in 3 games. But the pitching staff not too shabby either. Only 1 run allowed today. Only 2 runs allowed yesterday. And even the 6-run outburst on Friday night was aided a bit by a 2-run 9th inning by Penn State. So just a great job, especially by the starting pitching this weekend. We had Oliver Jaske, Ryan Newtoff, and Michael Hendrickson, all 3 days just really bringing their A game. And when the pitching staff is on and the offense is clicking obviously the way it is, this Wolverines team is going to be hard to beat, especially throughout the Big Ten season. We're going to have another pitching change for you here. It's going to be Grant Royce coming into the game. We saw Royce in action on Friday night. This will be his 5th appearance. The ERA currently sits at 6.75 in only 2 2/3 innings. He struck out 6, walked 3 on the year. Of course, a big day in the baseball world today. Opening day. So we've gotten a couple of scoreboard updates already on that Yankees-Rays game in progress. The Rays were up big early on. You know, the marquee matchup on the day, of course, tonight's game between the defending World Series champion Chicago Cubs in St. Louis to take on the Cardinals. Also going on today, Giants and Diamondbacks getting underway in just about 25 minutes. That game is in Arizona. Your scoreboard update on the Yankees-Rays game. It looks like the Rays are still up 7-2 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Tomorrow, of course, all the rest of the teams in the MLB getting underway is the first pitch from Royce to Berger at the plate is a ball, 1-0. Of course, the local flavor, the Detroit Tigers, start tomorrow in Chicago against the White Sox. Second pitch from Royce misses outside for ball 2. Tigers this season looking to rebound after a bit of an injury-filled 2016.
Not off to a good start for 2017 either. A couple of injuries in spring training already.
The Tigers can stay healthy, though. They are a force to be reckoned with on the offensive side. They have some pitching there with Verlander, defending Rookie of the Year, Michael Fulmer. They could be a dangerous team to the Indians, looking to repeat their success from last season, as Royce walks Berger on 4 pitches. Put the leadoff hitter on base here in the top of the 9th inning.
AL Central's not an easy division playing lately, though.
Yeah, lately it has been tough. You've seen of the last 3 World Series, if I'm not mistaken, teams from the AL Central have come out of the AL with the Royals twice and the Indians last season. Indians look poised to do it again, as Royce fires his first strike of the day to Colin Hughes. He's up in the count 0-1. Certainly a interesting and fun-filled Major League Baseball season on the way. His second pitch misses high for a ball, 1-1. Long way to go in that season, though. We're smack dab in the middle here in college baseball season. Your Michigan Wolverines looking mighty fine out there. As a ground ball to Lugbauer at third. He fields, throws to second for 1. The relay throw to first. In time, double play. So a 5-4-3 double play with Lugbauer to Curta Bivens. There are now 2 outs here in the top of the 9th inning. Michigan looking to wrap this one up and send these fans home happy.
The left fielder, number 12, Nick Riato.
The last hope for the Penn State Nittany Lions is going to be left fielder Nick Riato. So far on the day, 0 for 3. His batting average dipped down to 138. First pitch from Royce is in there for a strike. 0-1 the count now, 2 outs, top of the 9th. Michigan up 14-1. Trying to complete the sweep over the Penn State Nittany Lions here in the first home Big Ten series of the year. As this one is popped up high towards the right side. That's the right fielder Engelman drifting in. He will make the catch, and that's your ball game, folks. Michigan wins 14-1. They complete the weekend sweep of the Penn State Nittany Lions, and just a beautiful day here in Ann Arbor. Austin, I know it was your first broadcast, first Michigan baseball game of the season. What do you think of this team?
This team's looking good for the year so far. The offense is easy to put up a lot of runs, but they did get a lot of lucky breaks with Penn State sloppy fielding out there today. So we'll see if they can continue with this through tougher teams and tougher opponents going forward, but looks like they have a shot at the Big Ten this year.
And that'll all start on Tuesday night against Notre Dame. That's a 7 o'clock game. We will have that for you on WCBN if I'm not mistaken. But as far as today goes, Michigan going home with a win, 14-1. Winning pitcher on the day is Michael Hendrickson. He went 6 innings, struck out 8, only allowed 1 run on 3 hits and a walk. For the visitors, Eric Mock is going to get saddled with the loss. He only went 1/3 of an inning, but has 5 runs charged to his name after giving up 3 hits and hitting a couple batters. So that'll do it here from Ray Fisher Stadium at the Wilpon Complex in Ann Arbor. Thank you for listening to WCBN's broadcast of Michigan baseball all weekend long. Michigan sweeps Penn State by a final score 14-1 today. I'm Austin Falco for Austin Fisher, signing off, giving you a good night and a go blue.